And we should be live. Welcome for anyone who's watching the replay. I know no one's. Oh wait, no. Actually, Ferris is actually here already. What's up? What's up? What's up? We're going live. It's Wednesday. Wednesday is usually our Wax Wednesday streams, which is focused around crypto market analysis and wax moves and crypto tech kind of centric. And so today, Sid is joining us. Sid is in between Lewis and I, right below me. He's my partner in Maxi.io. Maxi is the conjunction Max and Sid. That's our little venture there, and so he's my partner in that. And we've been trading cryptocurrencies for more than half a decade now. It's been like 6-7 years. I'm pushing 10 years, but
I've been pushing. I'm pushing like 9 years or whatever.
Yeah,
so like trading, but then you've been in the space longer than that.
Yeah, I met Sid. Working at a place doing like previs stuff, so doing visual effects work, and I think over lunch I remember we like talked about, like I was looking at some charts on my computer and you asked me about the chart stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, let me tell you about this crypto shit that I like have been into already for years and years. At that point, I think I had been doing it for like 4 or 5 years already, and
totally.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you can just download a wallet, I'll send you some. I think it was just some Ethereum I sent you like that first day.
Yeah, I remember. Like some,
it was like $20 or something.
Worth of ETH.
Settled like that.
Settled like that, and I was like, whoa, this is really cool. I'm hooked. And then, of course, it was like that time it was like the 2017 like bull market. So like in a few weeks, like
that's true. But $20 that $20 was like $100. Yeah,
I was
like 2 weeks later. That's true. I feel like the timing was kind of like sus because it was like perfect, like to get you addicted. Yeah, it was like, hey, have a taste, have a free taste. Also, sending $20 at that point, it was the same. Like I had, I was already in the like thralls of that early bull run, so like it was easy to be like, here, have $20 because like a couple weeks ago that was just like $1.
Yeah.
When you got me into it, you pretty accurately predicted it. You were like, Bitcoin's under $1,000. You're like, I don't think it'll ever be under $1,000 again. You should buy some now. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is, and $1,000 is a lot. So I didn't buy a full Bitcoin, but I wish I did.
Oh
yeah, I remember. I actually like because a few people like had asked about it, and they're like, "Oh, I know you got into it." And back then, I made a Facebook post, which I feel like I've talked about before, so I'm just gonna pull it up because I don't make Facebook's posts often, so it's probably one of like 10 total Facebook posts I've ever made, and it would be fun to look at it. But while I look for that. Yeah, it was fun to like. So that's who the guest is here. If you don't recognize Sid here, Buzz King says, "What's up, Sid?"
Hey, what's up, Buzz King? Bull market's back, man.
And then the bull market has been kicking lately. So let me see here.
We bottomed. At least that's what I think. But I'll share more info in a minute.
Yeah, we'll pull up some charts here in a second. Let's see. Where is? Damn, there's a lot of Facebook. I feel like I just have to like log in.
Yeah, it's been that long.
I'd never use it. That's why I'm confident I can find the post because it's like I don't ever post. I might have to do a code on my phone. Jeez, I took this Facebook security seriously even back then. I guess.
Interesting.
Let's see. Enter the code, it says. Jeez, it's a long one too.
You guys hear my bull market sounds?
Yeah, I'm like, what's...
I was wondering what that was.
The
bulls are coming.
Actually in a farm now.
The bulls are back in town.
I hadn't listened to him before I played him. I thought it was gonna be less cow and more like, like a matador bull or something and sound intense, but yeah, it did kind of just sound like we're on a farm.
Yeah, a yield farm. No, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember Max, like you had what like this was like the like when ETH had just launched and you bought like you had like 100 ETH.
Yeah, I bought 100 ETH for for like $2,000
Oh
or
my
something.
God, dude.
About 100 ETH, and then like within
Imagine.
a couple months, it was like $100,000. It was insane. I mean, I made all the mistakes anyone's gonna make when they like come up that hard. I did all the ICOs, you know. Chasing. That's the craziest part too. Is like I had come up like 150x, and then I was like, "What do I rotate this into? Do another 100x?" It's like, dude, take some of it off the table. Is what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, tuition
we were
paid,
still
lesson
learning.
learned. Yeah.
Like if you just held on to the 100 ETH,
Oh yeah,
where would
just
you
don't
be right
touch it.
now?
That's definitely been the move. Like overwhelmingly, is like if I had just held on
250,000.
to what I bought when I first got into this stuff and just wrote it. Yeah, but I also would know way less about the space, which I feel like there's value in the knowledge. Although, man, the knowledge would really benefit from some money. Like, you know, knowing how to do all this stuff that requires more money, and then not having the money to do it is a nice catch-22.
Yeah,
having spent the money to learn all those lessons.
And then like, yeah, exactly. Like that's the, you know, like if you already have like money that like capital that you already have set aside that you can invest in, and then you have all this knowledge, then we do so well. So it's like you need both, right?
Yeah.
They say like you need money to make money too. So that's
an insider's game.
You know, like if I mean we could trade like $100 or whatever, and then, but there's only so much you can do with that. You know what I mean? Like trading.
Yeah.
Unless and now I know like there are stories that like people flip that into like hundreds of thousands of dollars on some stupid meme coin. Well, that's not trading really. That's just gambling, and you just
that's like some people
that's
also
like
make
winning the
hundreds of
lottery.
thousands of dollars at the slot machine.
Some
Yeah,
people
exactly.
win millions of dollars in the lottery, but there's
it doesn't make
millions
it a
and millions
viable
and millions
strategy.
of people
Yeah,
that don't.
Lottery
exactly.
strategy.
Right. It's crazy though how many people that is like their strategy, like their retirement strategies, like to just like win a jackpot. Like a lot of old people at the casino just like feeding that like one-armed bandit all night long. It's just like I need to. One of these days I'm gonna win, and that's when I retire.
In crypto that like it's too late to get into Bitcoin. Like everybody that's made money on Bitcoin has already made money, so I need to find the next thing because Bitcoin's too late to get into, which I feel like I don't know. I guess
the
it's
upside is
when you
lesser.
see that it's like over $50,000 each, you're like, oh, there's no way. Like I want to find the next thing that's worth $50,000, but I feel like
it's a
they
trap.
could still keep going up.
I think
you might look at today.
This cycle, like BTC has shown like a lot more strength than like, you know, rest of like the altcoins, you know, and I think like a lot of it had to do also with like the whole like ETF sort of like front running. But yeah, like the upside is like it can like doing another 100% for Bitcoin from here is like a big sort of step. But then some of the lower cap coins, like doing another 100% whatever is like not much effort, right?
Yeah, but the risk there is like,
yeah, but the risk
we're heavily involved in wax, and you can see when Bitcoin went up, maybe not 100%, but went up a lot. Wax is still below its all-time high by like 95 cents. So like, it's like
that's a lot of altcoins.
Lower market cap tokens, you might not move with Bitcoin, and you might end up doing worse. And then if you diversify too much, trying to hit all the different targets, then it's like, oh, it would have just been better if I stuck with Ether and Bitcoin because those are not guaranteed, but much more likely to increase like consistently, even if not you're not going to get a 1,000% increase in the next year, but it's just a more like, it's more of an investment strategy than gambling, which is what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I think this cycle, a lot of the, like we still haven't got that like sort of like alt what do you call that, the
alt
like
season.
Alt season,
alt season.
I was blanking for a sec, but the alt season, you know, like in the previous cycles, like that came on much early. I'm not saying that we might not see it this time, but it still hasn't taken off the way it, you know, like like it did in previous cycles where it happened way sooner. And
Yeah.
it could be the whole like ETF thing that's like changed it a little bit. And
Maybe
yeah,
there's definitely more volume in the Bitcoin and ETH markets because of the like
the blue
institutional
chips,
volume. Like, yeah, I mean, that's
And-
undeniable, and that volume also doesn't directly spill into altcoin markets.
There's also,
Exactly.
compared to the last bull run, so many more altcoins. Like I feel like it's impossible. to
yeah,
run
it's
through all of
like
them. On
Yeah,
Wax
I made
alone,
I made at least 5.
there's like hundreds, maybe 1,000 tokens on Wax. Like there's no way they're all going to
Stupid.
pump. Like I think specific ones will if you get in the right ones, but again, that comes down to a little bit of gambling. I do think there's like safer things
Yeah.
as far as like layer 1 protocols like Solana and stuff, where it's like, yeah, it's an alt, but those are also like less likely to go up thousands of percents compared to like the meme coins and stuff. But I feel like those are definitely just way riskier, and they're not guaranteed because there's so many of them.
Ferris is silly, right? That's literally like why people are on Solana, to degen into that stupid high risk, insanely high reward stuff. It's a casino.
Yeah,
it's a
because
casino,
like,
and the doors never close.
right.
You don't even need
And-
a VPN.
right. And to your point, like it, you're just like fracturing the liquidity or whatever. Like it's not new money
Yeah.
playing that. It's like it's the same money sort of like, they're just finding the next thing to like rotate into. So like unless you have new money coming in, then it's like, of course, then like if you're using it to spend on some stupid meme coin, then you're not buying the other altcoins. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like being funneled into the same. It's the same people sort of like funneling from one and then like rotating to another.
And I mean, it is true that if you like get in on that like position before that money gets funneled into it, and then you pull out before it gets funneled back out to the next thing.
Yeah, that's gambling.
There is
again,
the opportunity
like,
to like be in the right thing, and I mean, I'm in a few like dumb shit coins that I'm expecting to possibly maybe explode into like, the stratosphere, but I don't expect anything. Doesn't mean I'm not also like, I don't like, I play the lottery. I bought a scratch ticket when I went to get donuts today, but here I found the Facebook post. I won't read the whole thing, but I'll read like the first paragraph, and I have to say, unfucking believably like lucid sentiment for this is 7 years ago. I shared this on Facebook, and I mean, you can read the whole thing yourself if you want, but here I excuse my it's a long post because I literally break down why I think you should fucking do this.
He did like
an
analysis.
I'll give you the like introduction to what I wrote here, and like I never share shit on Facebook, so this is like one of like 10 maybe posts I've ever made. So it starts like this. I also excuse, this is 7 years ago me, and I was just kind of like ranting, but I was like, hey,
wow.
2017, April 27th. So we could look at the Bitcoin chart after this and see what price Bitcoin was at. But here's I wrote, I've been investing in Bitcoin coming on 3 years now, and I've made over 200% in gains in that time. I was able to turn around $2,000 into just under 9,000 in under 3 years. This style of investing can be done with a minimal amounts of money in the ones of dollars, and therefore is very accessible and to any budget, and in my opinion is still a very lucrative investment. I would like to outline for you how you can get into this sort of trading or investing, and how you can use this new technology, in parentheses cryptocurrency and blockchains, to store the value of your wealth and to keep your money working for you. The means have gotten much more user-friendly over the years, and I honestly believe it is easy enough now for even the least tech-savvy person to get comfortable with with the protocol. Wow. Damn, that's literally I still have this exact sentiment today. Like,
and it was August 27th.
This was April 27th, 2017.
Oh, April. So April.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up the chart here.
So yeah, let's switch back to your chart.
March, April
27th.
April 3rd, 27th, 25. It's around here. I'm looking at weekly.
There you go.
So it's about like
I gave my Facebook
$1,000
warning before that thing shot to the fucking stratosphere, like about $1,000, and it never came lower from that post forward. And that was like around that time was also I was talking to Lewis and stuff about it, and I was telling some people that's how I felt about it, and then I was like, maybe I should just make a fucking Facebook post. And then of course the post goes on.
I think we met there around there too.
Yeah, so this in the post I go on to explain like Bitcoin is the most like popular currency, and I would suggest sticking to just fucking Bitcoin. Here's how to buy it, and with my referral link, even not one person used my referral link. I put so much effort into this post.
Oh, how much would you have gotten from the ref link?
$10 in Bitcoin at the time.
Oh,
and
that would have been so much.
That's at $1,000 of Bitcoin. That's real money today. Yeah, it's like $300 per referral or something. When I first made my account, they gave me a free $5 worth of Bitcoin just for signing up with just an email address. You didn't have to do any KYC back then, and that $5 was worth at this point when I made this post was worth like $40 already.
Wow.
But let's see if I can share here. Share.
And ETH was $80. I think that's when you sent me some ETH.
Yeah, ETH was like I had bought it for like 15 or $20 like a few weeks earlier. It had already gone to 80. So let's see if I can find like a copied link. Here we go. I'll share this in the chat. You can make fun of me.
Do you remember this like this week in Coinbase? I did remember this happened. Like somebody somewhere like the flash crash. It flash crashed from
I actually had a limit order fill when that happened, and I had an order
at $14 from like
I had orders at $120 something and they filled. But if I had an order at like $20, it would have filled too. So I was
It flash crashed 97%, dude.
Yeah. You can look at my old Facebook post there. I shared it.
My video is like stuck.
Oh, is it?
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah. Or something.
Weird. Here, it's funny. All of the applications I suggested using inside of that Facebook post are also still around. I was like, I store my shit on Exodus. I use Change Now for swapping. I think Shapeshift is what was mentioned there. I don't know if that's still around.
Wasn't that?
I think it's still around. It's
built into Exodus or something.
It was, at the time, yeah. But if you used the Shapeshift front end rather than the Exodus front end, you could do more like crypto because Exodus didn't support all of the stuff that was available on Shapeshift
back then.
But I also I shared the post. You can read it. It's long. But I'm pretty much. I feel like it's crazy that 7 years ago, the message is the same today. I feel exactly the same way. I'm like, hey, I've been investing in this. It's going very well. I think it's worth your while to like look into it. And like, here's how. These days, if you want more hand holding on how, like, that's what like maxi.io is, So it's like you join and like we have our private Discords. We like talk people through like much more like complicated DeFi strategies rather than just buying and selling Bitcoin and Ethereum. But the message is the same. It's funny to see that post like 7 years ago. I was like, it's funny to like, I read it and I was like, I feel 100% the same right now. Like,
yeah, totally.
It's like the funniest part though to me was like, I spent probably like an hour or so writing that up. And like, I think a couple people replied to it being like, oh, I've heard about Bitcoin. I'm kind of interested. Nobody used my referral code, like I said, ever. And and it's just like nobody cares. But let me also qualify this. I don't fucking use Facebook. Like I said, I never make posts on Facebook, so I don't think anyone's looking for me to make a post ever anyway. So I'm way more of a word of mouth, especially at the time. I was not like streaming or doing a lot of this stuff. So I was telling people who I knew in real life and like Lewis and people like that, and
me,
and Sid, and then so I was like, I guess I will make a post because I feel like strongly about this. It aged like fine wine. I agree, Ferris. You're absolutely right. That's like
my guess is people saw that wall of text and just kept on scrolling.
Gotta be it. I tried to lure them in. I tried at the beginning. I was like, I'm up 200%. Like I turned $2,000 into $9,000.
The algorithm, you should have made like a video where like something flies across the screen and they're like gains, and then maybe people would have watched. You can't just have a wall of text, man. That's not how the algorithm works.
Yeah, just be like roll up my shirt and then just have it like reveal the text. Yeah, well, whatever. like other fine wine, it was not appreciated in its time, but now we all know it was an excellent year.
Well, I'm sure like when Bitcoin starts its like parabolic move again, you're gonna probably hear some people reach out and be like, "Hey."
I don't like try to do those anymore either. Like that was like my main shill for crypto. Like I did my part, you know. Like I made a Facebook post. I told a bunch of people in real life about it. These days it's like, you know, it's been 15 years or whatever. It's been 10 years since that stuff's been like on everyone's radar. So, you know, if you haven't heard about it and you want to hear about it, then ask me and I'll tell you, but I'm not going to approach you and tell you like about it, you know, like that. I got that out of my system years ago. Yeah. That isn't to say that people who get into it more recently, like someone who found out about crypto and stuff like, you know, last week, they might be the one now who's like carrying that torch and like the excited guy at the office. Like, have you heard about these like shit coins that I'm into? It's like you tap this hamster and like money comes out of them. Yeah. Whatever the current like the current
whatever
meta,
the trend is, like
the current shitcoin meta. Yeah.
It's crazy though. Like,
let's see. Fair says my bet is we break all-time highs after the elections. That's what a lot of like I think analysts are kind of on that page too. Leads me to question who do you think I personally I don't know. I don't like getting like too deep into politics. I just don't see Trump being a like viable candidate, and I think he's too much of a joke to win. I thought that the first time around too, though. So I have no fucking idea. Like the first, I was like, no fucking way in hell does that guy win. He's a fucking buffoon, idiot, moron.
And he did. Yeah.
And he won. And this time around, I'm still like, yeah, there's people say it's neck and neck, but like, is it? I don't believe that. Like, there's no way people are that fucking stupid or voting for that guy based on anything he's saying or doing and like legitimate track record he has. So I don't think he wins.
Crazy.
I mean, he still almost won the second time too. It's not like
exactly.
That's the crazy
part. And I'm always like, oh, there's no chance he's a joke. So I'm a terrible person to ask.
Eating
like,
the pets. They're eating
they're eating the cats. Yeah, what was the recent
him
working at McDonald's recently? That was fun.
Oh, do you see like McDonald's like shut down because of like listeria or some shit?
Also, I mean, I hear a lot of
10%
oh yeah, I saw that. That was great. The DJT stock. That one's also like I would get in on like trading that like short, but good lord, the shorts like flow interest is so high. It's like I'm not
Which for McDonald's?
No, for DJT.
This was like McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's stock 10%. Damn.
Because there was a listeria outbreak. I don't know if it's in the same like sort of one that he did his like stage op, but like but anyway, McDonald's had to shut down a bunch of their restaurants because of the listeria outbreak. Like the next day this happened. So it's just funny.
I think, that is pretty funny.
I don't know that it really matters for crypto, to be honest, though.
That's what I was about to say. A lot of the
because he'll keep flip-flopping. He'll say anything at any time.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like he's just a like panders to anyone who's trying to like have it, and like the reality of the crypto like favorable, like he's more favorable for the crypto than like more favorable than like a non-favorable regime. Fuck yeah. Like anything's more favorable than what like has been happening. And the tide is shifting a bit on like, at least the tone rather is shifting a bit on like the SEC level. You know, Ripple is winning those suits. They're backing off on like pursuing the lawsuit against Uniswap and all that kind of stuff. You know, so it's like the tide is shifting in that direction already. And I feel like the most like rational way to approach like, is he good for crypto? Because like we can't trust him at his word, obviously based on his track record. So then what can we see that he has done for crypto or in crypto? And there's a great example. He just launched World Liberty Finance like 2 or 3 months ago. And
that's like
a token
bullshit
sale
tokenomics.
Yeah, the tokenomics literally, it like the money goes straight into like read that fucking gold paper. The money goes
they
straight
don't call
into
it
his
white
pocket.
paper.
The tokens are non-transferable, so if you buy the fucking pre-sale, they'll be in your wallet, but you can't move them. And there's no guarantee that it'll ever be unlocked. It'll be up to a DAO vote at like, well, I don't know, in an undefined kind of like the whole thing is just nonsense. So at that point, it's like the community recognizes that is bullshit. Like they ended up buying, like, from what last metrics I saw, is like 14-15 million dollars was what he sold, and he was trying to raise 300 million. And so it's like a pathetic failure, which is exactly what it should be, because it's not like at all what the crypto community is into about crypto. And so like he's good for crypto the same way that, like, I don't know, central banking is good for crypto, in that it's it's there to like siphon money and enrich itself. And he'll do what the fuck ever it takes to make more money and like have avenues for, like, at least crypto. I feel like just like Donald, like the DJ Tree stock ticker. I'm not saying that it actually happened because I can't back it up with like facts, but I'll just say it's a good way to have like unregistered assets and equity offerings. Is a good way to court foreign investments that wouldn't be, legal to accept in the normal like operating system of someone in those ranks of politics. So I'm not like trying to accuse them of anything, but I would say it is very unsavory at best. And I would have actually been interested in seeing how a Trump Liberty Finance nonsense thing played out if it was actually a fucking crypto project that you could, transact on a public ledger. I don't know. Is that like a crazy idea for crypto to do this shit on a public ledger? I don't know.
Bigger picture, we've had both administrations pretty much, if you consider Kamala part of Biden, and we've had Trump. And crypto regulations really haven't changed that much between either. Like, it's all just smoke and mirrors and people saying stuff to try to get elected. But like, I don't know. I don't think that crypto is any freer under the Trump administration than it is under the Biden administration.
And for me, it's like, even if it is, there is bigger issues. I think like my little sister is going through in vitro fertilization process to get like pregnant, because they're, that's how they needed to go about doing it. She wants to be a mother. Under the like abortion policies that are being pushed by the Trump campaign and that side, those in vitro treatments would not be legal. And she wouldn't be able to, so it's like, that matters more to me than like the potential like feud Green Days following an election, because of Trump favorable for crypto. Like, I don't know, there's more, like, crypto is not a voting lines issue.
I mean,
for me, I would say, like,
because
like, I feel like it shouldn't be the issue people are voting along.
I think
that.
And
I mean,
it's a weird hill to die on.
Oh, sorry.
Sid has always said, like, don't like trade on the news, trade on the charts. That's always his thing.
Like,
and then people just try to blame the charts on the news, and it looks like crypto's about the pump. So regardless if he gets elected, the narrative will probably be like, "Oh, that's good for crypto" or whatever. Like afterwards,
and those fucking clowns know that shit too. Like, you ever see? Did you see Elon Musk tweeting about Dogecoin in a bear market? No, because he knows his tweets don't mean shit. He just tweets about it when it's about to pump, so he seems like he fucking, is influencing it, and maybe it like helps it pump a little harder. But like, when he was tweeting about it during the bear market, it didn't affect the market at all. And then it just doesn't make headlines. Like, it's not news like, hey, Elon tweets about Dogecoin and Dogecoin doesn't react. So it's it's like it's easy to draw those connections to the like market activity and the news events when it's not directly correlated, like, or even if it is correlated, it's not causality. It's not because of that. It's just they're happening at the same time, not because of each other.
Yeah, because like, I mean, like, even before Trump even entered into the political system, Bitcoin existed and hundreds of coins. Like, it moves, like, we trade based off the chart, and like, it's always like worked out that way. I mean, crypto has existed before he even like entered politics.
Yeah,
and it's going to continue to do so. Like,
I was about to say, at the end of the day, crypto doesn't really
matter
give a
who
shit.
wins,
like who bans it? Like, how many times has China banned crypto, and how many times?
Exactly, right? People forget,
like, who gives a shit if now it changes to like U.S. bans crypto? Like, oh no, like now everybody in Europe is fucking like trading and making a fucking mint. Like, like it's an international like network, and like it doesn't give a shit about who's president. And like, sure, if there was a regime in power that was like, we're gonna like add Bitcoin to the like national treasury reserve, that type of news is like an event where the news will absolutely affect the market. Like that would,
Right.
if it's like, oh, one of the super like sovereign like superpowers in the like world stage is adding Bitcoin to their reserves.
Right.
Like that's the type of news that can pump a market, but that's also not the kind of thing that happens like on executive order from a president. Like you can't just be like, we're gonna restructure the treasury if I'm president. It's like that's not how government works. So like at the end of the day, like the president has not as much power as it always seems. Like it's like, oh, if we change this, like I mean realistically, how much changed when like the last elections turned over? Not enough. And it's the same, it's like it's mostly just like different people on SNL getting made fun of, but the same bullshit happening in real life. At least that's my experience with it. Personally, I feel like we're probably not going to see a Republican win in the election, and if that affects the markets negatively, maybe, but I don't think it has a huge bearing on it. And I've been wrong about the Republican like candidacy and the strength of it many times before. I'm so definitely not a good litmus test here for that.
I mean, we'll just continue to trade the chart as always.
Yeah. Speaking of, how's that chart's been looking pretty fucking solid. Like, I mean, we're on the 1 hour where we can, so we're looking pretty closely at it right now. So it looks a little bit, gloomy
pretty
here, a lot of red.
But here, even at the low time, you can see how our indicator kind of works. It basically like shows you if it's in a bear. Bear just means it's going to go down, and you can see. And then we have something called a strength band, which is part of the indicator. So it just gives you sort of like a quick visual read on like what the trend
where the
is.
Support and the resistance is. So like you can see it working really well as resistance there.
Where in a downtrend, like price will tend to like keep getting rejected on the band. It can go over, but then it'll like deviate back down. So even if you aren't like too like a very big expert on TA, it just like helps. It's just another tool which helps you like invest or trade. And that's part of the Maxi thing.
I always use the strength bands to set my stop losses when I'm taking leverage positions. So I always try to keep it like on the 4 hour. I want to keep it below where the support or resistance is, and that way,
like
that way, if I do get stopped, then I know that I'm getting stopped on the way as the trend's shifting.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Yeah,
because like low time frame, it's it's not much of I don't. Yeah, unless you're scalping, then
I check the Bitcoin chart once a week on our stream here on Wednesdays, and I always look at Bitcoin usually on the weekly and the daily. So we're pretty familiar, I think, with like the weekly. Yeah, and exactly this too. We've been watching since I was pointing out that the weekly has been closing below the strength band, but has failed to print a bear signal. So
which like it's kind of like was trying to act as support, and I think this was last week, which we shared on our like Maxi Discord. But like, so what we're looking also apart from the price, like going past resistance and the strength band, but the change in trend or something that tells us there's a change in trend is that you start getting a higher low and a higher high, like if it's in an uptrend, and which meant that the downtrend was potentially being broken. And
that's what we were looking for last week too. When we were looking at it, we were like, we're seeing like this is a higher high now after a higher low. So now we're just looking for that higher low, and here it is,
And here it played out exactly. And then we had, and something you were tracking has been that.
Yeah, we've tracked this on our stream too. This was already like half a year ago at this point, where we first basically when we first stopped that huge breakout and started like dropping down again. And when we first started forming the handle, that's when we were like, oh, this looks like a giant cup and handle pattern.
You're right. And so like they call it cup and handle because like visually you can see this arc is like a cup, and then that's the handle that you hold on to.
Yep.
That's what they call it.
Like coffee mug.
Yeah, little coffee. We call it the cup of Joe. But
the cup of Joe, yeah. And then the way that you can target like where the breakout like if this is the pattern, it's a bullish pattern, and it has a target for if it plays out, where does it hit? And the way you find that is by measuring from the bottom of the cup to the top of it. So Sid will actually do that here in a sec, or pull up some of the images of it.
Clean up like some of the other stuff.
But yeah, in general, yeah. So you have that like that height there, and then what you'd want to look for is
so the
like
same line.
Yeah, you duplicate that line and then just move that to wherever the handle breakout happens.
Breakout point.
And then from that breakout to the top of that line, that's your target for this pattern. So then if we are actually seeing a cup and handle breakout here, so basically on the weekly, we're now looking for this breakout to be confirmed. Like we want to close weeks above that handle to have, broken the handle and play out this bull run. And then the bull run target becomes $120,000.
Yeah, that's for Bitcoin. And in a breakout, like it's natural, like, because it broke out of the trend line, it's natural for the price to retest it. Yeah. And then so that retest is natural. So there's no need to panic yet that like, oh, we're going back in a downtrend. Like it should have held. It should have held, like, actually a strength band might be acting as support.
Yeah, that does look like, especially because the higher high, higher low pattern that has been playing out finally pushed us back above the band, which is like in a bull market. So we've gotten our bull print. You can see all the way back in like the beginning of the year, we got that bull print, and then once we turned north, like once the candles were north or above the band, that's in a bull print. That's where you want to have the price action. And then whenever we fall, we need to find support at least, on the band. Otherwise, we're going to lose that band. And then if we lose the band, flip the color of it and get the bear print, like you can see all the way back in like 2022 when the bear market started there. That's when you can, take more of like take the flip seriously as like, oh, this is the market is shifting from bull to bear.
Exactly.
And so... we had gotten a loss of the strength band, although the strength band had been acting, you can see very well as support all the way up until,
and it didn't change color or nor did we get a print.
Exactly. So like, we were getting preliminary signs of potential weakening. Those weren't confirmed, and the indicator basically like took care of all that. You didn't have to know what you were doing, just kind of like wait for the print. But it's great to kind of see that is all playing out within forming that handle. And now we can still see it, pull back and even find support and even pull back a little bit lower, as long as it's still making higher lows on the weekly chart, then it's, it's still part of a bullish reversal here. And so,
like, it's okay for price to like come down and wick, but like it shouldn't close. And that's what's important. So like, also, that's something in trading where we don't act until like the candle is closed, because price can fluctuate and keep going up and down, and then, but what's important is like it needs to close.
Yeah, exactly. Because you want
based on that.
Yeah, because anything can still happen while the candle's still open, and you don't want to like start taking positions with unconfirmed candles, because once the candle's closed, it will never change. And that you don't want to make a decision based on something where the information is still changing, is the short version of this.
Exactly. So 120, I was going to say 120 would be like, could be a potential area where we could see some sort of like top for BTC. I'm not saying like that's the complete top, but like that's might be a good area where you take profit.
Yes.
Because this is something that we had shared a long time ago.
Yeah, this is over a year.
The Maxi Way model, where basically like you can see how the indicator works too, but like also it's been playing out like ever since inception. Bitcoin has been playing out this sort of like pattern where it's like stuck in sort of like a channel, which like tapers.
The banana.
We call it the banana.
This chart's also important to note. This is on logarithmic scale, so you can see that the chart starts at 0, then it goes to 1, 10, 100,
Yeah.
1000, 10,000, 100,000 versus,
Let me
you know,
see. Maybe I have it somewhere here.
yeah, there you go. It's a logarithmic chart. So
Log
that's why,
scale.
you know, that's why it looks so nice and smooth, even though if you were to look at this in the linear, it would look like a very steep, jagged spike near the end,
Right.
with most of that price action in the first, you know, half of this image being basically flat.
Right. So see, like, if we were to also look at that, and then like the $120,000
Yeah,
for Bitcoin, like it kind of like also lines
hits the
up with
top of
this
our
top.
model. Yep.
So those two things uh, kind of like make me think that, okay, that could be a potential top. And I know you probably heard calls of where it's going to like 1 million,
Oh, a
5 million,
million.
like Kathy
Yeah.
Woods and Michael, whatever, Sailor.
Singer,
Like, I wouldn't
Sayer, yeah.
listen to any of that stuff. I would just like look at more like what the chart is showing. I'm not saying it
Yeah.
can never go there, but like it's very
I'm also
doubtful
not
that this cycle it's gonna like hit those prices, you know.
I'm also not selling all of my Bitcoin when it gets there, but I will have that in mind as a place to take profits.
Yeah,
So where
exactly.
we're seeing a breakout in the longer term pattern, like this cup and handle pattern breakout. Once we get that confirmation, for me personally, obviously, everybody needs to do what's appropriate for their own risk management style. But for me personally, that's my signal to basically go all in the sense of like I'm no longer really involved in stable coins or positions that are not exposed to crypto price appreciation. And so that like I'll be mostly like invested into actually like, you know, crypto exposed positions, and then I'll be looking to maybe unwind some of those crypto exposed positions back into stable coins with these targets in mind. So a big part of like making money as a trader is, you know, taking profits, you know,
Yeah.
having, and then the way to do that also, rather than, you know, being here and gambling or being here and trying to pick the best winner and then like hoping it goes well, that's not, again, that makes you more like on the gambling side of this. So what we're really looking for is, you know, having a strategy and then following a plan, because as an investor, you know what you're going to do with your positions before something happens. You're not making this decision in the moment. So if you are, for example, purchasing some Bitcoin here at 66,000, and then, you know, hey, what would you do if the price goes to 120? So double what you just paid. Well,
Yeah.
I would be able to tell you, like, I'm taking profit at that point. I'm selling 2/3 of my position, you know,
Yeah.
because that's my plan. That's my take profit strategy. Um, it
And it
also
can be
keeps,
hard too, you know, because
yeah,
that's when you're probably going to hear
yeah.
people, the media saying that, oh, it's going to go to like 500,000, 1
Also,
million,
your money
whatever.
just doubled, and it's been climbing aggressively quickly to get to that point over the last like month or two, like to get to, you know, 120,000. So it now feels like, well, what if I just hold it for another month or two and it does that again? You know, then I'd go for doubling 100,000 versus a $60,000. You know, so it's like, it's very very hard to take money out of a money printer, you know, like, or like
Yeah.
basically sell part of your money printer effectively. But that's also why you don't want to be making that decision in that moment, like when you have all those
Yeah.
endorphins going and you see, you know, you have the excitement of making all this profit. You don't want to be in that mindset and then have to make real financial decisions.
Yeah.
And the same is true of the other side. Like, what if all of a sudden, you know, some calamity event like in the market and we get to like lower prices? You should already know what you're gonna do. It's not about like, oh shit, like what do I do? Do I sell? Do I hold? I don't know. No, you should have a drop dead like stop. You should know if you're gonna hold it. If you're gonna hold to zero, you should, you know, if then that happens and you're like, oh no, like whatever. I don't
Yeah.
like, I'm not moving. I know what I'm doing. But yeah, if
Yeah.
you are an investor, you have a plan and you're following a plan, you're not making these decisions in the moment. And so that's a big part of why we're trying to like talk about these like charting things and have these tools, like our indicator, for example, to help people make decisions, because it's not just about the in the moment decision when you're looking at the chart right now, but also like, okay, if I'm going to take this
You
position,
can plan, right?
yeah, where do I take profit? Where do I stop the losses? Where do I, like, and what do I expect? So it's like, again, when we see this breakout, then we know from TA and from understanding, all of this kind of chart stuff for a long time, that the odds are in our favor for the market to continue upward in this trend. We also know that we're not guaranteed that, and so we have a plan for contingencies. We have, like, if we do enter this position, we know now is the opportunity to enter because we're getting confirmation that we're getting a breakout. And then once we start moving up, it's also not like, it's not a bad idea to then start, entering stop losses when you're in profit. So it's like, hey, if we suddenly get a drop, let me lock some of these profits in and then re-enter these positions. Again, it, like Buzz King is saying in the chat, it keeps your emotions out of the equation when you have a plan, because you're no longer reacting to market conditions and trying to think and make a plan, a strategy. In that mindset, you're reacting to market conditions by enacting the plan you've already set down when you opened your position. So
yeah, like we know this well in advance, and like at least it's what I'm going to do is going to look to take a lot of profit around 120K. And the thing is, like, the whole crypto market sort of moves with Bitcoin, so that's why we look a lot of the times, we still keep tab. You might be trading like Ethereum or Wax or whatever it is, but like Bitcoin sort of like moves the whole market. Like, if Bitcoin is in a bear market, like, it's very unlikely that the other coins are going to be in a bull market. Like, they're all going to go down. And similarly in a bull market. So if Bitcoin does stop around here, and like that, it might be a good reason to also take profit with all your crypto bags and not just like Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's true. That's also,
like Ethereum might be like, I don't know, we can try to see where ETH could be, because like log scale too, like
I'm hoping to see like a 10K ETH, but I think it's probably going to be more than that. I think Ethereum has a higher upside.
It could, if like the time that like Bitcoin, like it's Ethereum has also been like playing this sort of like this wedge sort of pattern, like long term
rising wedge. Yeah.
So like next year, it depends what the time is, right, when we top out. But if it is something around like if it does push all the way till the end of next year, then it could be like close to like 18K, 19K.
Yeah.
But if we top out sooner, then it might be more like 10K, 12K. You know what I mean? So so there's no like I said, there's no guarantee, but like it's this is a good probability. Like, it's been playing out this pattern for like a long since inception again, and then but then again, we're gonna also keep tab of like Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin tops out, then it's a good time to take profit with everything else. Like,
I
at
did
least
see
that's
some.
the way I do.
Ferris is asking if we'd seen about the ETH whales selling news, and also that the ETF didn't work as expected. I think the ETFs are generally like my expectation from is that they just create some type of like on-chain buy pressure for off-chain trading activity, and I feel like it does do that. Beyond that, I don't know what the expectations were.
Because
for like maybe like the volume that they wanted to trade on their own like books or whatever wasn't up to snuff or something. Personally, I don't really fuck with ETFs and stuff, but I'm also like really crypto literate, so like I like to manage all this stuff myself in my own wallets. The ETFs are great for people who are using their like IRA accounts or money that isn't otherwise accessible to markets like that. But
also there's this like thing of like the whole like carry trade business. You know what I mean? Like, until basically we have enough retail money, like new money coming in, which still hasn't happened. Like, and that's when you get like the peak parabolic like sort of bull market, stage of the bull market. I mean, I think we could get that like next year, and that's what it's like, the second run up that we're gonna start seeing. And if that takes off, then I think like next year we could get that sort of like parabolic sort of move, and that's when people are gonna like outside people are gonna FOMO. Your friends are gonna ask you about Bitcoin and Ethereum and what the next, I don't know, monkey coin is, or who knows what.
Yeah,
right?
monkey
Like,
picture.
yeah, and all that new money is gonna like is what is gonna like affect, or that's gonna change the like what's already there right now. Like right now, ETFs, like, I mean, your friends aren't really, they don't care about the
Yeah.
ETF that's launched. They're
ETFs,
not buying
like
into
you're
it.
saying, like you mentioned with carry trade and stuff, that's what ETFs
Yeah.
are mostly for. It's investment, like they're investment instruments that are part of established markets that can do things that can't be done by retail investors so easily. Whereas institution money has, a lot of rails that, it's a very regulated institutional, like finance is a very regulated industry. And so, to do something like, without getting into crazy detail, to do something like borrow money from the Japanese central bank for a, let's say 2% interest rate, and then swap that money in a foreign currency exchange into dollars, and then use those dollars to trade Ethereum. That's not so easy to do if you're like a bank or an investment bank or a financial institution or even like a private equity fund. But now with ETFs, you can actually do that, where the last step of this is like, use those dollars to buy institutionally backed ETFs, which are still legal for you to, purchase, because you're doing it with money that isn't your own personal money. It's money that, you're the money manager of, for multiple people own it. And therefore there's a lot of rules in how that money can be spent. And the ETFs and all of that ETF kind of development really only, in my opinion, serves to make institutional money more accessible to the crypto, like to the crypto markets. And so us out here, like in the stream, anyone who's like watching, like the institutional people aren't watching like Twitch streams about crypto nonsense. So for us though, we can buy, Ethereum directly on the Ethereum blockchain, self-custody it. And for people like me, we can front run the BlackRock, which is like the biggest central bank, like, or I'm sorry, finance like bank, like investment bank in the world.
Yeah.
An individual like me, who's like nobody in that game, can front run an asset acquisition by 8 years on an institution of that size. Like, we had the upper hand in this market for a long time. The ETFs are leveling the playing field for the institution. Yeah.
Which is cool, like,
it's cool. Eventually institution money enters the markets, and this is how that happens. It's not like,
and that's like all markets, it's like,
exactly.
that's the fate of it. Like, and same thing, like it's bound to get more regulated, because like that's the thing, with everything. It will get regulated. And like, BlackRock is when BlackRock is there, it has to be regulated, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly. So like, what the way that they're interacting with it and stuff, it's very limited. Like, they're allowed to hold Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain in a Bitcoin wallet, and then issue a 1-to-1 ETF like representation of that held Bitcoin. They're not then also allowed to like stake the Bitcoin in something, and like try to generate more like with it. Which as
same
a bank,
thing with Ethereum.
when you deposit, when they hold cash, they can totally do that. But like, with these ETFs, it's a pretty limited thing. So it really only puts buy and hold pressure onto it. I think it's generally a good thing. As for like whales selling ETH, that happens all the time too. And then I feel like if there is like the sell-off effect, like you're saying, after the Bitcoin ETF went like live, Bitcoin pumped, and then ETH dumped after ETH ETF went live. It was
both actually dumped after it went
I was gonna
live.
say ETH pumped when Bitcoin pumped. So it's like they both dumped when, and like they both like preemptively pumped and dumped and whatever. Like, I feel like that's another case of like trying to tie the news to the chart. Like, we should just pay attention to the chart versus trying to like explain those news events. There's very few news events that I feel like will have a very direct effect on the chart, such as, like I said, like the government announcing they're adding, Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Something like that would be a market moving event. But I think most of the news is hard to like pinpoint that this is the cause or effect of something like some kind of market activity. And then again, as for like sell-offs and whales selling, long term, again, that's great. That's a distribution event. It makes, it puts the concentration of owned Ethereum from like big whales into smaller whales, and that's generally a positive for like decentralization and stuff. So I'm also not too worried about all of that. At the end of the day, I think Ethereum has a very clear use case for paying for transactions that are secured by the Ethereum blockchain. That's a blockchain that takes like $80 billion to attack, so the security that it's offering is worth quite a bit of money. That's like when you're like, why am I paying 10 cents to broadcast a transaction? It's for that security. That security isn't free, and it is worth it. It makes sense, and at least to me. And then those transaction fees do a really good job of like putting deflationary pressure now onto Ethereum, because they have the burn mechanics involved, where like every time a transaction fee is paid, a portion of the fee is actually destroyed, like from circulation or burned. So long term, you have this kind of deflationary pressure on the crypto asset, and I feel like all of that stuff tracks for why I think Ethereum also has a little bit of a higher upside in this bull market.
Yeah.
But
real quick, I'm going to do a giveaway. We can go over about an hour. If
Let's
anybody
do
wants to enter, type !neon. If you have a Wax wallet, your Wax wallet. If not, we have codes for free signups if anybody wants to join Wax. And we will be giving away 1 million Woof, which is a meme token on the Wax blockchain, which is currently worth, I think, 41 cents for a million.
It's seen better days. It's seen better days. There was one more question for you, Sid. I think Chris was asking, are you also invested in Wax? And if so, do you have a favorite project on Wax?
Well, I got into Wax because I didn't know about it until you told me. So like I got into it basically because of you guys, Neon. And I do have like all the NFTs still there. I do but I haven't really messed with like other tokens within the Wax ecosystem. I still hold some Wax. I don't know how much, or
you got airdropped the Woof
tokens. The Woofy tokens, yeah.
Yeah, you got those dropped.
So I
made sure that you claimed those. You sold them, nice.
I sold them and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna hold these forever, because like back then it wasn't like Bitcoin was in a sort of like choppy downtrend sort of move, and I was like, okay, the other tokens might not hold, and I'm glad that I sold, because like it's been on a sort of like downtrend as expected after that.
Yeah, that's true. I've been a little more sentimental in holding on to mine.
I didn't get as many nowhere as what you guys got. So
that's true. Yeah, we got like billions.
Yeah, exactly.
I also farmed that airdrop. Like I split my like
I farmed
Wax holding across.
Yeah, I farmed it for a long time, and then I saw like the chart. Like I was checking the chart or whatever, and it seemed like okay. Even the APY had like started dropping.
The APY had come down. That's kind of where I was lately. Like lately, I was looking at some like what was like some Woof farm opportunities on Wax.
My browser just crashed. I'm gonna have to redo that giveaway.
Oh, I was wondering, it just disappeared.
It's rigged.
Yeah, I was about to win. That's just good news for everyone who had already died, and there's too many people left alive to notice if you were getting close to winning. But I feel like there hasn't been any like really solid like APR farming pools lately for Woofy. And I'm like, I swapped some of it to like Wax and USDC just because that pool was paying like 27% APR, which
it's not bad.
And I feel like a Wax USDC, I feel like that's honestly, to me, that's a lower risk pool than a Wax Woof pool.
Yeah.
So I was like,
we can. Yeah, after this we can look at the Wax chart too. I mean, if you want to know what the
I think so. We always like to look Wax, and then we can do some some Wax DeFi here because we want to check our positions.
Okay.
But it's
another blue chip that like this cycle, like blue chips that I heavily like buy into in a in this bull market, when now that Bitcoin has like look bottomed is like, of course, I own BTC, I own ETH, and then Solana looks pretty good on the chart. Like
Yeah.
this is
As
like
much
I don't
as much
care
as I
about the
don't
meme.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
because
like that's all
Sid knows I
fraud.
don't like Solana's, like it's all fake metrics as far as I can tell. As far as what I can look into, it doesn't look great.
Yeah,
And so
it's
yeah, Sid
a
knows that about
yeah,
it
like
already.
I don't care about like,
He trades
oh,
the
it's the
chart.
amazing tech, whatever. I just trade. I'm just in it to like get profit, and that's it. Like if the chart looks good, I'll trade it. And
Yeah.
for long term, it does look really good. So just for that reason, I'm gonna like hold Solana. But like I'm not gonna get into all those like meme coins because that's just like
Yeah.
gambling. Like if I
Yeah.
make a bunch of money and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like, it's like the slot machine that you said. Like I'm gonna throw some
Yeah.
change into it. That's different. But like,
If I would have had to answer for you for Ferris's question of like, are you invested in Wax and like what's your favorite project? I would have been like, yeah, Sid, like if he is invested in Wax, he's like holding Wax. Like
yeah,
he
exactly.
doesn't really fuck with the ecosystems. He trades like the base utility tokens, whatever has
Yeah.
the most volume and the most liquidity. And again,
And
he's
what
like
looks good on the chart.
yeah, he's
Like
following the chart.
I don't really hold stuff like, especially like, yeah, like you said, like the tokens within the main like coin, like whatever is in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Like I've just been like, I guess, wait, which cycle? I got into crypto in like 2017. So we've seen two
Yeah.
cycles before this, right? And like,
Yeah.
oh, is this a third cycle? Whatever.
This will
Like
be.
anyway, this is a couple of cycles in, and we've kind of seen like the sort of natural, like just the way like, like it goes out, and then like in a bear market, everything gets wiped out. Like, and just
Yeah.
that's how it's been. And like just going by
Definitely.
past, like, okay, like I don't really like hold stuff long term, especially when I see the market flip.
Yeah.
What I do is like I just sell everything into stable coins, and then I'm just trading the price. You know what I mean?
Did you? This is a good question. Actually, I don't remember the answer to this one. So, Ferris, the follow up is: did you mess with any projects on Wax, like Funko or Farmers World, or I guess even before that would have been like Alien Worlds or
Yes,
like
Alien
Our
Worlds,
Planet?
and what was Our Planet?
Our
Right?
Planet, yeah. Did you?
Well, I
You fucked
got
with that
in
too, right?
because of
Yeah,
you. I didn't know
yeah. I
anything
was
about
gonna
Our
say,
Planet.
I must have sent you some rigs at one point. If you had a Wax wallet, I definitely got you into Our
Yeah,
Planet.
you sent me some rigs to get me started, and that was the last bull market, and I was like,
Yeah.
the rewards were like insane, because I was like, this is
Insane.
not sustainable. This is total like
I was texting. It's
bull
like, dude, I'm
market
making
stuff.
like 1 ETH a day. Like
Yeah,
I'm
which
selling
is
my rewards.
crazy.
It's like a whole ETH every fucking day.
We were like living off like whatever, paying everything, like
And that
rent,
was
everything.
after ordering sushi for lunch and like Ubering somewhere for dinner. Yeah.
I'm like, where is this all this money coming from? So it's not going to be sustainable long term. And I was like,
It
okay,
went for
once the bull
so much
market
longer
tops
than it
out,
should have.
I'm going to sell everything. I sold everything, and I'm
Yeah.
glad I did,
And you did
because
it
I
so
literally
well.
sold it.
I can't even sell the shit I have. Like, there's not even a market for buyers anymore. Like, you
It's
told me
like,
too. You're like, yep, it's
I was
like
like,
over. Like, sell it all. Get back to Bitcoin if you're gonna hold something.
yeah.
I'm just too into like playing the games, man. Like
Yeah, see, like I'm not a hardcore gamer, so I
yeah,
don't
like
have
that
the
money.
emotional
Yeah,
aspect.
I was just like, I like my NFT collection and like, yeah. Oh, and it was 1 ETH. It was like about $1,300 or something. So it was like almost $1,400 a day is what my ETH, my a Ether mine was paying, and that was close to 1 ETH per day. It
Yeah,
was
just imagine that. That's a lot of
ridiculous.
money.
And then ETH went from like 13, 14 to like 5K or something.
The last bull market, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
because
like
that
6K
Ether
only.
shit was happening like before ETH even started fucking kicking and shit. Like the market
Yeah.
got like that was early bull run.
Yeah.
Good shit. I should have pulled everything out into that. I'm so glad I did at least like many
now you
days. I
know.
was like,
This
I want
cycle.
more ETH. I'm so glad I was still into like DeFi shit on other chains, because if I was like, I know a lot of people were just like only on Wax, and that's all they knew. So like a lot of people like re-rolled everything into shit on Wax, and when it dumped, like everything came crashing down with it. Where at least because I was like on other blockchains and stuff, I was like, oh great, I can like roll some of this from Our Planet into like something over here on like Arbitrum and something like that. And that, so like I was like
They
playing
all
with a
trend
bunch of,
down.
Yeah, a lot of it was like new dexes would open and they would pay
Yeah,
absurdly high APRs, and I was
yeah,
just like, oh, I'll just take like the ETH I just got
hundred
from
thousand
here.
percent or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
exactly,
We
and farm
played
like
some
this,
of those too
and it
because I
did
was like,
so well. Sometimes, like I got my dad into one of those too during one of the, and he also like it made him a huge crypto fan. Like we got into it for like I think 13 cents a token, and
yeah,
it was printing 400% APR in the liquidity pool. 3 weeks later, it was $1 a token, and the percent
yeah,
was still like
it's
300.
crazy.
So it was like, yeah, you turned like a couple thousand into like $20,000 or $30,000, and it was making you like $300 or $400 a day.
Which is
So
crazy.
those scenarios,
Yeah,
that's the bull market. That's the height. That's
yeah,
the like thralls being in a bull market. What we're seeing on the chart lately is the signs that we're getting early breakout confirmations that a bull like run is back. So like when the bull run happens, then we'll probably be on stream being like, look at this insane APR, like what the fuck.
yeah.
But like, yeah, like we're gearing
I
up
think
for it
next year is going to be like that. You know,
I do
that's my
too.
at least my prediction. But like, but I'm glad see like Wax has also looked potentially bottomed. Like now that like Bitcoin, I mean, you know, just looking at the Wax chart because like I know Wax has had it rough for the past some years now since 2022. So it was trading in this floor, and then like it sort of like broke down, and
Yeah.
then this is called a falling wedge pattern, which is actually bullish. So when
Yeah.
like price keeps going down, if we switch it to the daily, it looks more clear. And then
It's funny that it broke the red right as our indicator switched to green too.
yeah,
It's like if you're not tracking the wedge or shit, it's just like, yeah, the indicator does all that for you too.
exactly. So like
But,
it just
yeah,
makes things like simple. And now the price is like below the now it the support
it's like
has
the
turned into
4 cent
resistance.
line is kind of like what we really need to conquer. If I feel
Yeah.
like it's like a little
So
below 4, like 3.7, 3.8.
so yeah, so like how I'd like to approach anything, and like this is basically how I trade, is like I don't I don't really like to like predict where price will be at a certain time or where it's going to go. Like if the chart shows me a pattern, like say like Bitcoin has like the cup and handle, and
Yeah.
that you can like measure the target and sort of like, you know, guess where it can go. But like if there's no patterns, then I think the way to approach it, at least like this, what I do is like just look at what the trend is. Again, like I just use an indicator, and then like just play it level to level. That the thing is like, you know, for example, like this is the weekly chart for Wax, and it's been in this range since like 2022. So like, so
That's also the
now,
nice thing. The side note here that Wax has had such price action, so we actually know what the like support levels are all the way back to $1,
yeah,
which is awesome.
exactly,
Yeah.
which is great. So now like, if this, I'm just like cleaning up this falling wedge. So because like now if price does reclaim in the sense like if we get a weekly close back above this line, and remember it has to be a close, because it
Yeah.
can, if it wakes up or down, it doesn't really like count. So if it closes back above, then this whole thing would be like what's called like a deviation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so which is a good thing. So which means like if price reclaims this, then like this is basically the range that you're playing next,
Which is like what,
which is like,
like a 4x, 5x.
yeah. So like let's see, let's measure.
Let it. So, and this is
So it's
also why,
about like,
like,
yeah,
so I mean,
close to like 400%.
in Wax and stuff, so like I still have like a good amount of my Wax, you know, in liquidity pools and stuff. But since we've been seeing this kind of like, you know, leveling out, and watching the charts and stuff, like I'm looking for the opportunity to kind of shift out of all my nonsense, like Wax and my Wax stablecoin pairs and all that, and push
Yeah,
everything into like a Wax pool, like Wax and maybe staked Wax or something where it's exclusively Wax exposure, and then you know, try to ride that level up.
yeah.
And
So like once this level is done, and then you get a nice like close above it, then you know like the next level up is this and this and this.
yeah, yeah,
So like I like to look at like higher time frames like monthly chart, and then I go down to the weekly chart. It's no point looking at like the hourly or something. You're not gonna, you know, you want to look at like high time frame to get the longer term sort of like picture of what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
once it like reclaims this, then like just play it from year to year.
Yeah, rather than try to hold it like all the way to like new all-time highs.
Yeah.
It's like take the profits when you're hitting those new levels, and then
That's right.
see if the levels like fall down. They should retest like halfway previously levels, or the old level that got broken out should become the like new level support. And then around that is where you can like buy back in and then trade it level to level. Vindicators for that $5.
Well, it needs to
cross $1.
It needs to cross this $1 resistance, but like it'll all depend on the altcoin. What's it? The altcoin like
all
season. I keep blanking.
Open
all
season.
The thing is, we haven't had that all season yet. So like, if we do get it, then like, and if we cross this $1, then we could see it like run up a lot more.
Yeah,
but until then, it's like it's challenging, right? Like it needs to get there first.
It's different than meme coin season. Yes, I think so. meme coin season is like a little bubble that's comes up before the altcoin season actually like emerges.
This this cycle, I would say it's a little different because like there wasn't really a meme coin meme coin season.
AI like, coins are also getting like a lot of hype, pressure, which is
because because before this we just had Doge, which was like that was the OG meme coin, and then we had other stuff like whatever, like Pepe and Shiba and whatever stuff. Like
I remember the Doge when Doge forked from Litecoin way back in the day.
Yeah, which is a fork of Bitcoin again. So
Doge is like its own, and nowadays Doge has its own smart contract ecosystem and everything. I do wanted to get to Ferris' other question here. He says, okay, how about like the worst case scenario? What if Bitcoin does sell off to like 50K level? How much room does Wax have down for staying on the Wax?
That's hard to say.
You know his name's Fenris, right?
I call him Ferris, like Ferris Bueller.
A Ferris Bueller.
Max just doesn't read people's usernames and makes up whatever name he thinks sounds close to the letters.
I see like the F, the R, I, S. That Ferris is close enough. Fenris, sorry for butchering your name.
So like to answer the
other
question, parts, Butcher from like the boys.
But yeah, that's a good one.
But
yeah,
like
the downside,
Wax,
how much downside can it have? I feel like if there's unbreakable support for Wax at 0. But so we won't go lower than that. We won't go lower than that for sure. I'm like 100% sure about that. I'm usually like I won't ever like give definitives. There's unbreakable support at 0.
Well, the thing is like it's hard to say how low it can go because like it's in price discovery, and the same thing goes for like on the upside, right? Like
that's why I was saying it's nice to have all these levels because Wax has actually achieved $1 before, so we can actually see like where are the resistance and how is it going to reach $1 again. We can't see what it's going to do lower because it has never been lower. So when
did see when Bitcoin pumped to past its previous all-time high, it was at like 12 cents for Wax. So Wax did not copy Bitcoin as far as reaching its all-time high or get anywhere near it.
Not even close.
Let's say like
and Wax is a very immature market compared to like a lot of the other like Solana, other altcoin markets and stuff. So like you can definitely get that disjointed like pump. You know, even if all the markets are red, like, you know, some of the smaller bullshit markets can pump still. Like
like meme coins, because like it's completely dislocated from like it's just complete fraud. It's like BS. So like you know, it doesn't really like follow, but like but you can see like Bitcoin, the last high was like around March where it hit like 70 something. And see like if you see the cursor on the left side, Wax was like here, which was like this mini pump was like last Bitcoin's all-time high, like here. Damn. This was it, and that's it. Like you know, that's still within the range. Like
Butcher's asking though, since since we've never seen a lower price, what would TA tell us, or does TA become useless at that point when if there isn't like a history?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Basically, you
that's
can.
basically it's like TA is basically making predictions based on patterns that exist. So if there is no price like activity on a chart like below, then there is TA becomes useless. So in price discovery mode, that's also why basically like when we're trading like short or long, when we drop or pump into this price discovery range, we don't know when to take profit targets are either. So at that point, like I'm just moving my stops up every day, trying to chase the market, and then being like, okay, when it turns around, hopefully hopefully it doesn't just turn around and then leave me behind. But that's the risk of price discovery. Like there is TA becomes useless and everyone's flying blind.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's also why what Vindicator was asking, like when $5. That's also why Sid is like, well, if we can clear this resistance here at 1, which is the top of that fucking chart, then it can be like 1 from 1 all the way to 5 in the next move, because at that point it's price discovery mode. We don't know that there is any other significant support or resistance between $1 and $100, So and then that's what's generally called the blow off top of a bull market. So you get a bull market run parabola that generally you'll see it in
see with wax last time, like you see like
those wicks. That'll be those wicks. So we wicked from like 80 to $1. So like that last 20% of price action happened very short lived, very quickly.
Let's see how many days.
Those are the price discovery actions. And you can see that in the crypto markets too, like in Bitcoin too. Like in the if you're looking at like Bitcoin on the weekly chart and look at the last like bull market, at the very top, so like the wicks are long and thin.
In 3 days, so in 3 days, it pumped like wax pumped like 76% in just like 3 days. That was like that was like the blow off top. And like similarly, like you said, like Bitcoin last time around.
I remember Bitcoin in 2020. No, that was 20. Was that 18 or 17? Like when it hit its all-time high, like that was for like a matter of like a day and a half or something. Like that price stayed there for like very, very short-lived. And as markets mature, those blow-off tops will also become longer-lived. So the most recent bull market, it got to its high, kind of like chilled there for a while, which I remember we talked about that too. We're like, this is strange. Like this should be the top. Why aren't we dropping?
It pumped like 43% literally, or 45% in a day.
Yeah, and then you can see that one day immediately retraced, and then for the next chunk where we actually are at the peak of that wick, we're lasting there for like it
was 70% in like 2 days, and that was like it went back down.
That's the blow off. And so that's like the price discovery mode. And then you can see that's now that we have that wick, the top of the wick is the resistance. And look at where the price peaked out on the next run up.
See.
It's like, oh, well, I mean, who could have predicted that? Well, that's where TA stepped in.
That's what TA is,
we couldn't have predicted the wick to the top without that initial wick. So that's why, once we get into the all-time high, range of prices, that's why, it's an exciting time. That's when you get those insane yields and like crazy price action stuff, and that's why you want to have a fucking plan.
Like the thing is like, and also like I think I was talking to you and like saying some of the other guys, like I think like going back to the thing of like your point of like we would see all these like blow off tops, and that would be like how the bull market ended. And I think like in a naturally like sort of like maturing market with like more liquidity, you're going to see less
how wide
of that.
They're getting. Look how wide they're getting. Look at this current one, right? Look how long the price has been up there, and then look at
this is just accumulation. It's a wake up accumulation.
At the fucking all-time high. That's crazy compared to like now. Scroll back, look at the previous all-time high. We hung out for a little bit, and then look at that thin, and then look at the previous one before that. It's going to be like a needle compared to that.
Yeah, exactly. Just one candle up and down.
And then look how far that retraces, dude. The next week was down back to like pre-bull run.
Oh, this was, I think, the Mount Gox, was it? I think it was. No, was it?
Oh, was it? That's about when I got into it. Like as the Mount Gox hack played out, I bought my first Bitcoin for about $300.
Oof.
Good deal. Also aged like fine wine.
Yeah. So it's gonna get like harder to like sort of like trade the market, because like you really need to like know what pattern is playing out, or like
Yeah.
you need to understand TA, because now you don't have that like, oh, like I'm just going to see a blow off top and then I can just like sell it when I see the
Yeah.
next candle down. You know what I mean? There's going
And
to be chop.
as the markets mature, it's going to be less of what we're used to of like you can throw your money at anything and it's going to
Yeah.
come back tenfold. That was true 3 years ago in the bull market. 100% true. That was crazy true in the early stages of ICO mania. That's how like most people got sucked into all that, is because like, yeah, if you put a 1 ETH into this, you come back with 5 ETH like a week later.
Yeah,
And that was just, it was legitimately happening until it wasn't, you know. And then it's like, but either way, yeah, it's becoming a lot more mature. Like you're saying, the opportunity to like catch the top is not becoming like a snap action. Like
Yeah.
it's actually something you have the time to like, and like they're saying, it's important to understand TA for that reason, to know when those opportunities are actually presenting themselves. Like Vindicator saying, we have institutional money this time around, which
Yeah.
that keeps those cycles from being so quick. Institutional money doesn't move really quickly. Institutional markets aren't as efficient as these crypto markets, and so now you have a layer of inefficiency that's going to slow these trends down, and also level them out a bit. We're not going to get as steep of pumps and as quick of retraces for that exact same reason as why we're getting so much more value coming through those markets. You know, it's all
and also like this big pattern that like it's been playing out. See the runway, like it runs out at like 2028 or whatever. So
and then
it's
our
like,
model
and
ends
this,
and we'll be in a new discovery mode. Like we'll have to come
yeah,
up
we
with
don't know,
something that fits
you
the
know,
data at that point. But yeah, this is
something
it's
to
played out. Like we made that model over a year, multiple years ago at this point, and it's
yeah.
unbelievable. Like basically before the bottom of that cup and handle pattern like hit,
Oh
we were
yeah,
like, that's
before
where
this we made
like
this like,
before that we already had that. So we're like, we know where the bottom should be, and it literally touched the model like line. Now the big thing is like, you know, had we had more capital, but then yeah, there's the catch again. Yeah, it
well, we
takes
both come from VFX, so it's not
yeah,
been
but that's like we learned all
right.
this stuff by doing manually, you know, like by participating for years and years, and so it is like, you know, it cost tuition wasn't cheap, and so that's again, I guess the to just plug us one more time here, if you like, you know, that's why we started the Maxi.io stuff, because it is like, you know, you can avoid making those mistakes yourself and like jump in on like, you know, knowing how to navigate these markets at a like decade worth of experience level versus a I'm just getting into DeFi and I'm going to see what sticks, like maybe buying dumb meme coins and not really knowing what the hell I'm doing. So if it is something that you're interested in, or if there's like, you know, deep cut financial like positions or strategies you'd want to know how to do in you know, crypto from your wallet, from your computer in your bedroom, that's the kind of stuff that we're like trying to help people like figure out and offer basically through there. Yeah, enough shameless plugging from me though. I like this butcher's question is, how much percentage of money do you think during a blow off tops comes from retail versus institutions? I feel like the blow off top are relatively low volume events, like compared to like the volume that got us to the top is much higher. And then that last like hour, 2-3 hours, few days or whatever that we're in those like huge runs is generally happening because fewer and fewer people are willing to sell and are like holding out, and then fewer and fewer people are willing to buy, but those little buys are pushing the market much quicker. And so generally
And also
you see,
like, I think like you know, whales do help with that. Like whales
yeah, like
basically
whales
will
will
like
cut off
will
the
create that,
selling and create
yeah,
that blow
FOMO,
off
and like
scenario.
basically create the blow off top, because they know that's their like, so
Yeah,
they can exit basically.
like whales
It's
understand
all a
like
way of
these
getting.
markets really well, and these patterns play out because it's multiple whales participating in the same pattern. At the end of the day, the idea behind following TA is that you maybe don't have billions of dollars and insider knowledge and all this stuff that other people maybe do have, and like realistically have an edge because of it. But what you have is the price information, the exact same price information that they have.
Right.
So
The only
by
difference
looking at,
is they can move it because they have so much capital, but we can't move the market because we don't have as much capital. But
yeah,
you're still, like you're saying, but you're still playing the same chart.
Exactly, and that's why we put a lot of our stock in TA and chart reading in the first place, is because in a world that is less and less transparent and more about like who has access and favorites and whatever, you know, like where it is like it's not an even playing field. Like finance never has been an even playing field, but in a world like that, like when news breaks, it's too late. By the time I read an article, like wherever I got my news, it's too late for me to act on that and actually make an investment, you know?
Yeah.
Like
the big players have already acted on it.
Yeah, exactly. So like, well,
You're
what I
last in the
can,
door.
you know, what I do see in real time at the same time as those players, though, the price
chart,
updating on
yeah.
the crypto markets. So maybe not even on the stock markets. I don't have a Bloomberg terminal, so you know, my stock feed on Robinhood or on like Fidelity is like a minute 13 seconds behind or whatever.
Yeah, like we're using TradingView. There's some like delay. There's a small delay.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
it,
you can go to the 1 second chart and see it update 1 second
yeah.
at a time, but that's still you're still like 38 seconds or something behind actual like market times, because this isn't a Bloomberg terminal. Like this isn't something that, you know. But yeah, I mean, you can watch the market move. Bitcoin, yeah, this will move.
I know there's some like people who try to trade it. I think it's like absolutely bonkers. Like it's
That's hilarious.
crazy.
I mean,
like,
if you're trying to
that?
trade the like, I think the lowest I will go is 15 minutes. On the chart.
Same here.
Like the chart.
That's
So
only if I'm like high frequency, like scalping or something. But I don't really like.
Yeah.
Make
exactly, and a few seconds making a huge difference with high frequency trading. And so, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, like you can get into that kind of stuff. It's like you can, but like it's not something you can get into without like having, you know, like even in crypto, you'd probably want to run a private RPC, your own nodes, you know, and your own like coded bots, which isn't
with like pulling API information from like,
exactly. And you want those API feeds need to be real time, because it's bot trading is competitive. It's a competition. You're competing against all the other bot traders. So
there it's like just a matter of time. But like for us, like if you're just doing TA in the chart, then like you don't need to be like, oh, what's happening on that second, you know, because we're making the moves based off the daily chart or like whatever it is. So it doesn't matter.
I can't answer this question too. So the question is, maybe institutional players like BlackRock and other like, you know, ETF financiers and whatever are buying OTC, which is over the counter outside of the market, meaning that they're not putting limit orders on like Coinbase, you know, on the order book that you're actually seeing when they're buying their stuff. The question is who's selling there. Same
in
like
terms of ETFs? Or just like in general,
like crypto in general, like to institutions, like who sells OTC? It's still the same exchanges, so it's still like Coinbase is still selling. It's just not part of their continuous order book sales. So they're still sourcing those like those huge orders that BlackRock is buying aren't coming from one counterpart, and it's like an over-the-counter thing where like two parties are being met. It's like the exchange Coinbase is saying like, yeah, we have, you know, $100 million worth of Bitcoin that we can sell you at this average price. And then they'll take that and combined like, you know, 100 million worth of deposits or sales being asked and, you know, dump it that way.
But
it's a monopoly practice then. Yeah, kind of. A lot of the money is they're the middleman. So they're not like the ones who bring all that. A lot of the OTC sales come from big mining corporations, like big mining operations. Every couple days, you know, have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Bitcoin to sell. And so they sell those OTC to the exchanges, and then the exchanges sells OTC bundles to, you know, institutions and so on and so
also
forth.
Like they're just like OTC, like, you know, firms just you know, dealing with OTC stuff. Well, the reason why, you know, there's, you know, you want to do an OTC trade is like because, you know, it's in big size, and when you're doing that, you don't want to do it on the open market because it's going to affect the open market. Like they're not doing the OTC trade on Coinbase exchange where we're trading, or like Gemini or Binance or whatever. So this is completely like you're not seeing it on the order books, and it's not going to affect the price of Bitcoin, and that's precisely why you're doing it.
OTC is a healthy part of any established market. So Google shares, Apple shares, all of that stuff is trading every day OTC. like
Yeah,
huge
like the big
volume.
firms are doing that.
Yeah,
like
big hedge funds
not
are
a
trading.
Robinhood account, Like,
Yeah, not retail, but like big hedge funds, ETF funds that are like rebalancing. They're trading all of these massive amounts of stocks and shares. This is all happening OTC as well. None of that stuff is happening, like on an order book or part of retail markets at all. And so
Yeah.
OTC, like you're asking the question being, if crypto markets were more regulated, would OCC be forbidden? No,
I don't
OTC
think so,
is a
because
normal
it's
part of market operation. It happens in all established markets.
because like there's nothing like there's nothing wrong with OTC. It's like because
It's
like
like an
OTC
auction,
is just
basically.
like a private sort of deal that do like technically if I had a lot of if I were to like trade directly with Max, I'm like, hey, like I'll buy you a Bitcoin for this much amount of money.
That's OTC.
Directly from him, then like technically that's kind of like an OTC trade if you look at it.
Yeah.
And these guys are doing something similar with big size.
Because I'll look at the market and I'll be like, well, Bitcoin, it says it's $66,582 right now. So I want, and I'll sell you 5 Bitcoins, but I want 66,600.
Yeah, exactly. And
There
that way you're not doing it on
deal.
the exchange and it's not like affecting the price of it, like we're just doing it directly. So
yeah, it's definitely this question I feel like is hard to answer. The percentage of like actual retail volume that we can see on TradingView or any tracking software, I think is because a lot of that stuff is reported by the centralized exchanges and not verifiable beyond what they're reporting.
Right.
You have to take all of these exchanges at their word for it. And like while some exchanges are heavily regulated, the reporting side of that isn't part of government regulation. That's just something that like maybe an intern is doing, or whatever. I mean, that's exaggerating. But a lot of them will fake their own volume
metrics
and and they'll just include wash trade volume and all that stuff just to be higher on the visibility list on these
on like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. Like you take like
to take those seriously. And the real volume metrics, if you really want to see like what I consider real volume, is looking at Uniswap on chain, looking at Curve, Balancer, like the big DeFi protocols. That volume is real, and it's real in the sense that even if it's wash trading, the liquidity sourcing fee isn't being foregone. Like at an exchange, they might put $1 billion worth of trade volume on like their Bitcoin and US dollar book, but no fees are ever paid because it's their own money, right? Whereas if you're doing $1 billion of volume on Uniswap, there's no way to not pay the fees. So the volume that you can see on actual DEX screeners like DeFi Llama and stuff, I actually trust that a lot more than I do the volume that you can see published on like CoinGecko and all those volume trackers that include centralized exchanges, because you have to understand how those metrics are gathered, and overwhelmingly it's just self-reporting by the exchanges.
Yeah, which I wouldn't trust completely.
Yeah, exactly. How about Trump coin? What's coming? He did launch. He launched. It was called World Liberty Finance or something. It's non-transferable, so if you want to buy it, you're basically donating your money to Trump personally. It's not even his campaign. But it is out, and I guess you can buy it and hold on to it, and then maybe vote for it to become transferable at some later date.
It doesn't say when, whatever. So
it seems like it's a scam,
giving your money away.
It's your prerogative. It's your money. So if you want to participate, it is an option.
Yeah.
I won't be.
I won't either.
Yeah, it's not Trump coin. It's called World Liberty
Finance.
And it is like Trump and like I think Trump Jr. and Barron and like some other people are listed as like
Eric.
Like they're listed as like Barron Trump is listed as like the crypto advisor, which is like isn't that guy like a freshman in college? Like
yeah.
Like what the fuck do you know about crypto to be an advisor for like a $100 million? Like I don't know. Like if you offered me that job, I would be like, I don't think I know enough to do that job. No, thank you. Like that sounds insane. So the fact that like
it's all BS, so then they can get a lot of the token supply basically.
And they basically the tokens don't have any implied value at all. Like if you read the fine print, it's just like you're donating to this like project and hoping that maybe down the line it becomes transferable or they actually do create something of value. And if you believe in it, then that's, do whatever you want. That's the point of crypto. You get to do what you want. It's up to you. No one's gonna, hold your hand when you lose. But
didn't he also do NFTs like a few years ago?
Oh yeah, he did NFTs. Those actually did better than his World Liberty thing. Like he sold like quite a bit, and they pumped. I think I thought about buying one, and oh no, I did. I bought one. I think for $300 something, and I sold it for like $700 like a day later.
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Oh, I'm out." Yeah, I was like, "I see this that just launched."
But
yeah, they look terrible. They're all these AI images. They look so stupid. But again, like I understand the space. I know, and I'm not betting on like Trump being president or Trump like NFTs being worth something. I'm betting that there's a buyer on the other end of this that's going to pay me more than I'm paying for it today. And that bet went well.
Just like anything, like that's all. Like
yeah, that bet went well, and again, it was like in the midst of the hype cycle of it. And like I said, I would have participated in like a Trump finance launch thing if it was something that I thought I could flip for money. And because this stuff has liquidity and a lot of people are like paying attention, and if nothing else, he can shill it to people. Like he can get attention on it. If he tweets about it, like the news reports that shit. So yeah, if there was some type of avenue for like I can actually buy these at the drop and then I can resell them later if they were not non-transferable, maybe I would have actually considered it. But like, yeah, the way that they launched it, it was like, you want to donate to this wallet address, send crypto here, and we'll give you like a receipt token that you can't move, which is like pass.
Yeah.
All right, I got another giveaway up real quick. Exclamation point neon in your wax wallet if you want to join. We were giving Woof tokens, Woofy meme coin tokens on the Wax blockchain. You'll become an instant millionaire, worth 41 cents, but millionaire in our hearts.
Millionaire in Woof. That's 1 million in dog cents, or dog dollars, also known as Woof.
It's not even like the original dog.
No, that's true. Honestly, a million actual original dog is like $180,000. So
that's pretty crazy because I don't know. We used to have so much Doge. When
I had like 20 million of that shit. It would be literally worth over $1 million today.
Dude.
Yeah, I should have held my Dogecoin, man. I gambled it away on
some
CryptoGames.io or something. Yeah,
it doesn't exist anymore. Like legit, you gambled it.
I logged into that account like years later, and I it still says like your balance, and it was like your balance is negative like 780,000 Doge, and it was like no, it was negative seven. It was like negative $780,000 or like 19,000 or 19
How
million.
Did it?
Because it just tracked all the Doge I lost.
Oh,
it wasn't. No, it was like that's like your running total, because it's like, oh, you need to deposit more. Like you've already lost 20 million and wanted to deposit more. I mean, I used to play a bunch of blackjack and shit, and just like to also be fair, that 20 million Doge, it cost me like $25. So like it wasn't it wasn't real money. It was like play money. The whole point was like I want to play blackjack and be like I'm in $1 million. So I was like I'm in $1 million Doge, and I would play, and it's like it's like $1.25 or something to do that.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah, so it's like I should have not done that. And the main reason too I did it is because I had the Exodus wallet, and they were like, we're removing Dogecoin support, and I was like, well, then I'll just go gamble my Dogecoin away. Like fuck.
And now Exodus has like Dogecoin.
Yeah, if you didn't gamble it, you would have just transferred into another token. Though probably I don't think you would have held it anyway.
No, I wouldn't have held it till $1 million. No fucking way. It's Dogecoin. People asked me about Dogecoin at the beginning of the last bull run, and I was like, I wouldn't buy it, and it was terrible advice. Like that shit went like.
Didn't Shiba Inu do pretty good? Is it still the Shiba Inu still thing?
Yeah, it looks good on the chart. I have a small bag.
Dude, the meme coins are worth buying. I guess we can jump into. There's a couple other charts I pulled up that I can share my screen after this giveaway, and then we can talk about those for a little bit before we.
Be wicked. Congrats.
Because it is about to be alt season, as we keep forgetting the word
for.
Season,
yeah. And
Fenris wanted to know about.
See, that's how long it's been.
Wombat rebranding to Wax plus Wax to play token. I think it's probably pronounced.
Oh yeah, because Wombax plus Wax to play. Oh, okay, because they're. I know they changed their name to like Spielworks, and Wombat is now like an app within the Spielworks family of.
Yeah, but they're changing the token into that plus like one of the other companies they acquired are combining into the PLAI token, I think is the new one. But honestly, I haven't been keeping up with
That's a good topic though for like maybe a later day stream here. Like I'll look into their
next Wednesday
thing
maybe.
and look into that. Yeah, hopefully if it's not too like I'll look if it's time sensitive maybe earlier, but otherwise next Wednesday I think is not a bad idea.
I know they're having some issues. Like Atomic Hub broke for like a short period of time, and then I want to say somebody said they like weren't a top 21 blockchain producer for a minute. Like I don't know what's going on over there, but I haven't done enough research to really speak on it. I'm just throwing around shit I thought typed in the chat that I did not double check.
I'd also have to look into it a little bit. But here, let me see about sharing my screen again.
Did I send that? I always like talk through sending the prize, and I'm on such autopilot. I don't remember if I even just sent the prize.
I'm gonna start with
did you send the prizes last week, Max?
I did. Okay. Yeah, I put little check mark emojis next to everything once I sent it.
Cool. Okay, I did send
you have that.
So we got a new form up, ! Neon if you want to join. And if you're watching us and you've never been on Wax before, Wax is a blockchain based on EOS IO technology, but we do have free sign-up codes. So if you'd like to enter this giveaway and you win, we can help you sign up for a wallet for free. No costs, no purchase necessary. So let us know.
Yeah, it's like a cloud-based wallet too that you just need your email for. So it's a pretty easy way to get into like this world of nonsense. But let me share a couple of these charts here. I have pulled up right now, first of all, the Solana charts with bull season and by extension alt season kind of looming here. I wanted to share a few charts with a little bit of TA that we've been sharing over on the Maxi.io discords as well. So like I said, Maxi.io is Sid and my like we do a bit of like, you know, we made the indicator that we use pretty much every Wednesday that I show off that you know, members, you could subscribe, you get access to using that yourself. And then we also share like in our private Discord, like trading signals, TA, and then also like when we open and close positions, which had been going really well the last 2 weeks. Got stopped out this morning though on this pullback a little. I had a long position open, so all that stuff is shared. It's not just the wins. So I shared that too. But I wanted to share some of the some of the altcoin charts that we've shared in there already, just to give you guys a sense of like a few of the coins we're tracking and a few of the TA things that we're looking for to happen. So first things first, I have Solana pulled up here, and you can see we have what is basically a bear flag or bear wedge rather, bear
pennant. I think if it's a wedge, it's called a pennant.
That's the bear pennant.
Bull pennant.
Sorry,
because we're going up.
I'm all over the place on it. So here we have Solana and a bull pennant. And so what we're seeing here is basically this wedge pattern is what we're looking for the range to trade in until it breaks out. And then again, the breakout target is going to be from wherever the breakout happens to the top of, you know, this line, which this line again is going to be the same as the flagpole, like flagpole of this pennant. So
what's it around like 320-ish, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So that puts the breakout target for Solana around $320 per unit, currently trading at 165. So this is one that we're watching currently. You know, haven't taken any of those short-term positions yet. Obviously, when we first got you can see this is the monthly chart. So we've already had a bull print on the monthly here. So obviously around here is where I scaled into some spot Solana, but to actually do like the day trade activity that we're also like, you know, that everybody loves to do, the like quick money moves up and down, you positions, you know, you watch your, like, those are really fun. I mean, for those where I'm not like open just yet, and we're waiting basically for the breakout on this chart. So this is something that we're tracking, and it's nice to have already in mind the target for that, you know. So even if we do start taking positions, we know that, you know, if we're moving above to this target, it's time to like start taking profit. And if we open a position and it starts falling below this like lower line of the pennant, we know that it's maybe a good idea to cut it. Exactly. So this type of TA gives us not only like insight on where the target for the bull breakout would be, but also like where to set, like when to enter that move based on when we do break out, and then where to exit that move based on where the lines are here. So next, let's also look at another one here. I got Binance Coin BSC. I'm sorry, BNB.
Oh, they rebranded. Oh, you should do the weekly chart. Let me see if I have it.
Let's see
of BNB. That was. It's playing this like. It's playing this like bull flag kind of pattern.
Let's see if I can. I'll switch to you really quick.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so here you are in BNB.
BNB.
Oh yeah, this is a bull flag. So instead of a bull pennant here, we have a bull flag.
Yeah, because that was like the lower time frame, but like the same thing. Like it's been trading in this sort of range. This one, it briefly sort of like did a fake out. It's called a deviation where it like went back in.
That's
And
why
then
we
it's
want the
still back
candle,
in the
like the
range.
full candle close above the fucking thing to confirm the breakout, which we see here. We only got the candle closing. It looked like it's closing above, and the next one couldn't hold it. Deviation.
Yeah, so like, but once it like closes like a weekly above it, then it's like the breakout is starting, and that puts it around like 920 or something.
That's a huge run still for BNB.
So that's something sort of like a blue chip. I guess it's been around.
Yeah, I would think so. BNB and Solana, as far as for the altcoins, those are big blue chip altcoins. And then if you're unfamiliar, BNB is Binance, which is the biggest exchange in the world by volume. It's their like exchange token, which is like their governance token for their chain.
Yeah, and also like the owner of it, CZ, he's out from prison.
He's out of prison. He's cleared. He's
which his time. I say he's going to bump his own coin, right? Like he's not going to let it go.
I mean,
he's out to pump his coin. I mean,
he's out. He's back out. He also didn't. You know, he wasn't like removed from doing any of this stuff because he's not a criminal. I mean, they investigated the hell out of him.
He was in it for like 4 months. That's it.
If he was guilty of all of the like fraud that like SBF was guilty of and that we saw happen with Celsius and stuff, they would have discovered that during that investigation. The fact that they didn't, and they were only able to get him on like whatever for 4 months, I felt like it was actually
some sort of deal to rat out some people. I think that's
maybe that could be, but either way, the fact that that's good news for Binance Coin.
So we're just waiting for this like breakout, and then like I mean I do have some spot writing from all the way from when we have a like that's if you bought here you're still massively up, and now the next move up can also like once it breaks out then you can like play the next move up too.
Yeah, and I actually did add some spot too when we got on the weekly there when we got our buy signal and the direct like the bull signal on our indicator and the strength band flip to green. That's what I want to see for a breakout, so that's where I buy spot. And that's been like on the weekly chart specifically. That's doesn't
worked out great.
It's worked out really, really well. So we have that one. Let me share back to my screen here. I also have another guy. We've been trading this one a little bit lately. It's called ENA. ENA.
Oh yeah.
This one we have a little bit. This is a lower time frame again. This is the daily chart, but you can see we're also tracking, another one of these pennants, looking for a breakout, pushing up to 60 cents for ENA. We're at like 43 cents right now, so a decent sized run up there to be had. That's another altcoin. Again, this is one that is has a massive protocol behind it. ENA uses like they issue.
They do the carry trade basically, and then they
carry trade for option. They cover options with carry traded money. Basically, you can deposit your stable coins and then mint EUSD, or if you've seen EETH or WEETH is like a liquid stake derivative. And what they do is instead of like staking it to earn rewards, they take that money, deposit it into Binance, and use it to cover future contracts. And so it's like a delta neutral future contract, like funding fee strategy. Right. So it generates pretty solid.
But they're doing all that in the back end, and then the
you don't have to know how it works.
Price is supposed to be pegged to that. I don't know how it works, the mechanics.
But it is one with billions.
BNB or Wrap BNB?
I actually have Wrap BNB on Arbitrum personally, but
I have straight BNB on like I bought it in like Uniswap, like.
But that's what I meant. Like, so that's what I mean. Like that it's not like native on the BNB network. It's
you can buy it on like
you can just buy it on
layer 2
chains, and that's where I hold it. Since BNB is a layer 0 token, it exists on many chains. But if you go to trade swap, and this I don't know, since we're on Uniswap, they just released a you can now trade Uniswap cross chain without a bridge. Fucking incredible. Where you can go, for example, like I guess I'm already connected to this wallet. Like here I have some USDC on base chain, right? I could take $1,000 of this and trade this into a token like this. I could do it into USDC on Arbitrum,
like Arbitrum or something,
and then just from inside Uniswap swap it directly over, or swap it even into like ETH on Arbitrum. Like,
so you don't need to use an external bridge or whatever.
Let's see. Oh, I want to change this one to all networks, and then now there you go. I could choose ETH on Arbitrum. And yeah, I think this just came out today, so I don't know if it lets you do everything like cross yet, but like it is really cool.
I think 9 networks.
Can you unwrap WBNB into real BNB? Like, is there a bridge to get if you want to take?
Oh yeah. That's the like ETH, the bridge from the BNB. There's like the main bridge that moves between bnbchain.org. Yeah, this is the one. So here, if you move, you can move from any of those networks. Like I was saying, I was doing it on Arbitrum. So here to then the Binance Smart Chain, and that's you can do like BNB. There. What? Which one is that? That's I'm actually not that familiar with how to do it from the Binance, but generally, yeah, you can always unwrap it to them because I know it's a layer 0 token, so it should use a layer 0 bridge to go back to the Binance Smart Chain.
Can you just do that in Uniswap? Just like trade the W.
Oh, that's true. You can probably do it from Uniswap now. Let's see, BNB.
Because I just bought it as like BNB token. Like I didn't need to like wrap it.
This is the one that I would buy like on Uniswap too. Like here, $30 of this gets me $30 of BNB.
Or change it to like ETH.
Yeah, but let's see if I can do.
If you want like the vanilla, like the OG, like if you change it to like ETH network.
It looks like not letting me do it just yet. So that might still be in the works. Like they said, this was launched like 2 days ago. The cross chain. So today. Okay. I was gonna say this came out like very recently. So right now it might only be supporting like it looks like if I do USDC, for example, it'll let me do straight USDC to USDC or USDC like USDZC and stuff like that, but it won't let me do to wrap Bitcoin or something. And that's definitely coming. Like I read the documentation. This is going to be like a permissionless bridge where you can eventually on Uniswap, you'll be able to be like trade whatever token on whatever chain into whatever other token on whatever other chain. And it's all of it goes through the Uniswap liquidity pools. There's not like a secondary bridge pool or wrapped assets. None of that shit. It's all Uniswap is coming up hard. Like if I was a bridge protocol, this would scare me. Uniswap is making bridges between the Optimism stack obsolete. But yeah, moving from BNB, there's almost certainly there's a way to do that. I'm not 100% familiar with
Google
it.
Simple Swap pops up.
Simple Swap's always an option, but they're not going to be exactly. It's not going to be 1-to-1. Like generally, like unwrapping isn't going to cost anything at all, other than gas fees. But that's definitely I'll look into that for you and I'll let you know next week or next stream, even if it's a quick answer. But I know it's definitely possible. But to answer the quick question, when I was trading this, I was doing it like this, like on Arbitrum. So I would just on Uniswap buy like $100 or $1,000 worth of it, and then obviously insufficient now. But that's how I was trading BNB because it's less than a fraction of a penny, and again BNB is deep liquidity on Arbitrum. I probably wouldn't do it here.
So it is a wrapped version of it.
Yeah. Here, swap
on GMX.
Yeah, swap whatever into BNB, and then this is BNB wrapped layer 0. That's what I want because the layer 0 is the main token. There's also wormhole wrapped BNB, so there's multiple versions of BNB. But you can see here, if I trade $2,522, I'm getting $2,520 worth of BNB. So there's a little bit of a price impact right now. It looks like I'm paying about $1.28.29 in fees, and that's including the 0.4% slippage from that price impact. Not terrible, but if we push much higher, I might have to cut this short. Although it is paying $11 a day in Bitcoin. It's not keeping
Well, the
pace with
daily
him.
is about to close in
Yeah,
10
the
minutes.
pullback
You
in the
might
daily
get
is
a
coming.
pullback. You should probably, you might have to close because we might get a higher low.
Yeah, let's see. Go to the Bitcoin chart here.
That looks like a potential higher
It does
low,
look like. I guess if we push above here, I'll close. Let's go 2067.
It's at the 1 hour strength band, I think, right now.
Yeah, so here's how I'd look for my Bitcoin position. I want to check on the lower time frame. This is actually on the 1 hour with our SRSI pushed up this high and us being still like on the south side of the strength band. And the wick not having made a higher high than these previous wicks. I'm still gonna wait until these previous wicks are pushed beyond.
Yeah.
Maybe I set a stop like right here at the previous wicks, like 66,900 or something.
Mocha is asking, would you be anticipating a altcoin season on Binance also, as part of the whole, or is tied to BSC?
Oh, like the meme coins and
I guess other tokens on the layer 1 of Binance chain, I guess would.
If I think if alt season does start and happen, like I think you're going to see like everything pump. So it might not all pump at the same time. It might take turns, like first something pumps and then like usually what happens I feel is like something will pump and then like the whales will like rotate that money into something else and start something else will start pumping.
I don't know that like this time. I'm also not as good at chart shit as you guys, but I just don't think this time like every altcoin is gonna pump. Like there's just too many coins. So like there's got to be like rugged projects and shit where it's like I don't know, no one's gonna pump
or
money
dead
into
chains.
There's a lot of shit that happened on Binance Chain. Like there's games that have like come and then gone. So like there's probably dead game tokens and stuff. And like I don't know that all that stuff will pump, even if there is an alt season. But if there's an alt season, I do think like having the stuff that people are actually still actively using and interested in will probably pump. But it's hard to say. Like there's just so much shit in crypto now, and there's everybody and their grandmother launched a token and a project, and I don't think they'll all just suddenly become much more profitable. But maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe literally everything will pump. But I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, because like a lot of the old tokens, like first they have to reclaim their last high, and that's like Lewis is saying, like that's not probably going to happen for all of the old tokens. You know what I mean? New things might pump, but like I think only the stronger tokens that are still being used will still like get to their last high and then possibly beyond that. But a lot of tokens might not even get to its last high. Like
I just set my stop loss. You can see it's right here now.
Oh, nice.
But
hopefully it doesn't happen.
Should I do another giveaway and then we move on to wax DeFi?
Yeah, do another giveaway and then we'll restructure our wax, and then I think that we'll call it around there because it is almost dinner time.
Yeah, I gotta finish editing this song that I got on my computer.
Is it a rap song?
My work. Recorded some rap music last night, and I gotta mix it and send it to the artist.
Yeah.
I played some of it, but he explicitly told me I'm not allowed to share it with anybody. He's like, you can't release any of the music until I release it. I was like, okay. You'll have to wait until it drops if you want to hear
maybe it's on the stream somewhere.
Maybe if you come in person, you can, as long as you check your phone at the front.
Yeah, I'll have to take your phone in a bag,
right?
And I will play the song for you.
Then you can listen
like,
to it.
The tape and stuff. Like,
yeah. We'll give you a version with like a watermark with your name on it, and if it comes out and we see your name, that's it.
That's it.
You're on the hook. Breach of NDA.
Fenris is asking if you know what's up with Mike D. He stopped his streams lately. No, I haven't checked in with Mike D. He invited me to be on one of his streams somewhat recently.
Nice.
But just never really followed through. Well, he invited you, and then he was talking to me. He was like, oh, yeah, like if you ever want to come on. And I was like, I'm down, but I was like, it's probably better to have us as a duo because Max is much more into most of the shit you're doing than I am. But
it was fun. I was on with him. We
playing bowl noises in the background and stuff. If you need that, that's sort of my forte.
Nice.
If you need sound effects, if you need someone to sound like an idiot and make you look smart, I'm your guy.
yeah, I joined him. It was a fun stream. I like. I haven't
hired.
I haven't really talked to him super recently, but we talk on Telegram every now and then. I know he's building something pretty interesting. Like, I guess I don't know how much of it he wants to say out loud.
I restaked my Ellis wax position.
Oh yeah, that's something we're gonna have to do here in a second.
I missed it last week because I was out of town, so I missed a week of rewards. But
yeah, what I really want to see is somebody put like, you know, that thing I just went on to show the BNB swap there, and then like adjusted my stop loss on my open Bitcoin short. That's GMX. That needs to, if they deploy something like that on Wax, that's a big deal. Like to be able to like manage future contracts with like no transaction fees with the finality time that Wax offers would be really fun. Also,
because you can do like fast trades.
Yeah, and it works like based like all those markets, those pair markets, those are just Uniswap V2 contract markets. Like they're 0 to infinity liquidity pools.
Does that only work because a bunch of people are in it though? Like, how do you make money if nobody else is longing and shorting? Like, aren't you taking the money from the people losing? And if there's only like not enough people doing it on Wax, would it even work?
It's like if nobody goes long and short, then all it is like Taco Swap, where it's just 0 to infinity liquidity pools that make money from the trading of the, you know, balancing of those pools. And then on top of that is the like GMX lending and borrowing protocol for the leverage trading, which borrows from the liquidity pool and pays interest to the pool. And so like, even if there isn't anyone doing leverage trading, the pools would still make money from just trade volume, and the trade volume would be there from like arbitrage bots between multiple dexes.
I just wonder what the appetite is for.
Yeah.
So there's like millions of dollars locked into long and short in both directions all the time on.
Yeah. If I pull up, like looking at what's it called? The GMX right now. If I look at their dashboard right now, there is $542 million worth of open positions. That's like 100 times more than there is money on Wax.
Yeah, just in that protocol.
Yeah, just in that protocol and in currently open long and short trades. It's I mean, it's huge. Why is GMX token tanking? I bought some at 20. If it drops below 20, I want more. It stakes. Let's see my stake right now. If I go to my earn tab here, I'm making, let's go, 8.5% paid in ETH. I can claim $56 worth of ETH already just from the stake rewards. I don't care that it's tanking. I'm never ever
also like
it just prints ETH for me, and the ETH comes from trade volume activity, and the trade volume is $500 million a fucking day. Like this is something I want in my portfolio long term. like I don't care.
Like we don't know what the chart.
Like I don't really care. I bought that shit at $90 the first time I bought it, and then I bought more at like 60, 40. I think my average is down to like $33 now. Like I've been averaging into GMX for a long time.
I mean, I can tell you why the token is tanking.
Yeah, let's
chart perspective.
Okay. Yeah, let's swap to your screen. We're looking at your screen here.
So
yeah, look at that.
Is like
following a trend line.
Yeah. There you go. Like if I hide all this,
I'm here for it, dude. I'm buying.
So if you follow the chart, like you can see, like the price keeps getting rejected on our indicator strength band because it went into bear. This was when like Bitcoin also like sort of started like going into a downtrend. So now hopefully it should, once it looked like it might have been close to breaking. So once it breaks back up, then you play it level to level, where from here to here, then the next. So from here to 60. So it needs to break out of this like sort of like downtrend that it's been in, and then it will go back up.
Those coins are fucking, I don't know, like they make,
it's like
30% of all the fees being paid on that platform are being paid to the people staking those coins, and there's a max supply of 13.5 million total that can ever exist. At some point, the fucking value that the market activity is doing on GMX is going to catch up to how many tokens exist to capture that value, and I want a big position when that happens. So I've been buying those tokens. That's one of my long-term like plays, like GMX token. Like if you're just finding out about it now, look at this chart. GMX,
Like it's
you can buy it for less than it's basically ever been, and they have $500 million in like trade volume activity just on like Arbitrum chain alone. Like if they expand over to like base chain, I imagine they would start rivaling Aerodrome in volume and potentially liquidity. Like I think, and again, if they do expand, or when potentially they do expand, there isn't going to be more GMX tokens issued on the new blockchains. There's a total of 13.5 million that represent the entire ownership of GMX protocol. So if you like I was saying, looking at this chart, if you're just now finding out about GMX, I found out about this like when this shit launched, and like I made good money trading the hype, but like you can now buy into it, into what is now a multiple year, deeply established, physically settling futures contract, futures market. You can now buy into those ownership shares of it for less than they've ever cost, and the protocol is well established, never been exploited, has a billions of dollars in TVL, and has a treasury worth over $4 million. So, like, the fact that the tokens are that cheap doesn't bother me at all. I personally think this is a buying opportunity, and it's one of like a list of maybe 10 coins that I'm like, those are coins that I'm buying and not selling.
Yeah, for me, I just look at it from a chart perspective, and this is a falling wedge, which at some point when it's like breaking out, it looks to be close to a breakout. Once it breaks out from a falling wedge, then it's gonna start its like sort of like uptrend.
Yeah. So for that, how do we get the target? Can we get the target? Like I know,
so.
But like we should show how we find the target.
So like, so for falling wedges, you can like sort of like measure this bit of the triangle, and then copy it over, and then like
that's what we're looking for. Breakout,
and wherever it like breaks out. So, and this also lines up with like resistance somewhere here. See, just like all these lines. So
classic. So then if we break out and actually blow through resistance with a blow off top, that would be the like ideal scenario for GMX. You could get a like a Mondo pump back to like $60-$70.
Fenris is asking, is it decentralized? Is the team doxed? Do you know?
Decentralized, yes. The protocol runs on what is it? IPFS. Just like our NFTs are hosted. You can't even take the servers down. It's an IPFS hosted server. And as far as the team being doxed, I'm not 100% sure, but I know that all the source code is all open source. So there isn't any like treasury or team wallets that hold, that are held by anonymous people that have some kind of like editing allowances on the deployed contracts. So I'm not sure how much I care if they're doxed or not, but I'm not sure that they are doxed. But yeah, either way, they've managed literally over $1 billion in the height of the bull market and weren't exploited and didn't run with any money. If they had the ability to, they had the opportunity to do that with, like 10 figures or something. Like,
did you do the target for Ethereum? This is my own question, not from the chat. We said Bitcoin, like you drew out to getting to was 120K.
Yeah, 118 to 120 was kind of the target, and ETH was higher because we got the wedge.
Yeah, so we have this. It all depends on time. The thing is, like, if say like the bull market does go on till the end of next year, so if you look at time wise, then that's like here, December. So that would be around here. That would be around like 18K or something.
That'd be crazy.
If it goes all the way there, right? But like I suspect that like we might not see it actually go all the way till December next year, that it might top out sooner, looking at the Bitcoin chart. So say it tops out like mid next year, like in Q2 next year, Q3, that would be around like what, like 15K, 15K,
which is still like a solid 5K higher than like I was hoping. Like last bull market, I wanted to see a 10K, and now this time I'm like, okay, I want to see 10K.
Because I think a lot of people keep talking about the whole 10K. I mean, it's a nice like psychological round number to You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, like what I'm going to watch for is like if whenever the price like taps the upper sort of like boundary, I'm going to definitely sell and take profit.
Yeah.
I don't care what the price is going to be, but whenever it taps here, like I'm just going to sell.
Yeah, definitely. I'm big into the ETH. Like, I think biased more into ETH than Bitcoin at the moment.
Yeah.
Uh,
Trade forex.
Yeah, swap back to
sometimes.
me, and I'm going to jump over to look at our DeFi wallet here. Here's what we have on. So to change gears slightly, after looking at the market and getting our kind of bearing, our direction sense here from looking at what's going on with the market, which again generally looking pretty positive. We're looking for confirmation of a breakout and then a continuation into the bull run. So we're looking for exposure to crypto in our DeFi wallet here. Rather than like hedges from crypto dumping. And so let's see what we had from last week and what we want to do with it, and see if we can grow our position in Wax. So last week we had these 4 pools running. If I go over to our farm, I think they're all still. Oh no, they're not all still earning, but that's because it's Wednesday, and our LS Wax pool needs to be restaked. So the very first thing we should do is definitely that. Because it's time sensitive. Every second we're not staked, we are.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
like
we're not
auto
getting
whatever.
Exactly. It's a weekly. I think Mike is the creator of that Wax Fusion, and last I talked to him, he was looking to like update that. So that it wouldn't be a restake action. It would just roll over. Like they would renew the farm on a weekly basis. Because the other side of this is if you go to finished, you'll see that we're staking to expired farms, and that starts to tie up your RAM. So you can potentially unstake. Restaking every week isn't necessarily like the best move, and so like what I do for the FTW rewards is like if you're staked to the pool, you don't have to restake ever. I just renew those rewards. They're set to expire once a month, but then I extend that every like 10 days or so. So like once it says like there's 20 days left, you'll see it jump back to 30 days left, and you don't have to take action as someone participating in the pool. That's the goal that Mike has set for this pool, but currently you still have to take action. So we just took that action. Now we're staking, and now we're earning 3% APR instead of nothing. And so since we staked, you can see I already earned 0.00001 liquid staked wax, which is why that was time sensitive. So looking at this now, next thing I want to know is how much runway do we have left? Can we stay in these pools? By the way, I actually clicked stake all because this was also unstaked. It looks like there's a new pool or a new reward token being paid out to an existing pool that we're already in. This HTN was not part of what we were earning last week. And so I just added that because it said we weren't staked. So I just hit stake all basically up here. So I didn't just restake this one. I also restaked this to this new rewards pool. But either way,
a little off topic. We have a question from Pigwig. Says, do you ever trade Forex or just crypto?
I sometimes.
Forex
Yeah, like last week.
Too. Yeah,
I was like doing some of it, but like it was through G Trade. Right, or it used to be called Gains, right? Like whatever.
Gains,
so G-Trade,
Gains Network is the name of the like protocol, and G Trade is like their trading app. I think is how they like categorize it all.
So there you can not just trade crypto,
here,
but
you
like
can see
it's all
markets.
It's a DEX.
Yeah, they have 196 different crypto tokens you can trade here. So they have a bunch of stuff. Meme coins, they have broken into this section. So like I haven't seen Woof on here yet, or Woofy, but I've seen like Bonk and like Pepe or whatever. And then you also have the Forex option. There's 35 different Forex assets
up to 1,000x leverage.
Yeah, so you could do like euros and dollars is one I've starred. Or Canadian dollars or whatever you want, like great GBP and Australian dollars. There's several markets even, but if you did like euros, then you can again using just your USDC and like Sid said, up to 1,000x leverage. You could take $100 and open a $100,000 position here, long or short. Forex assets, and yeah, I do that, but I don't do it like this. I will maybe 100 120x on a Forex position, For crypto positions, I keep between like 2 and maximum 10x, but like 5x most of the time. And then commodities, I'll go maybe up to 15x, but you can trade gold or silver or oil, and then like platinum and palladium. Like I don't know.
Wig's asking, do they have GBP, JPY?
GBP,
Yeah, they
JPY.
do.
I think they do. G.
I guess the kind of implied question
P.
is,
It's the
Here.
pound and
are you able
yeah.
to use the same technical analysis that you do on the crypto stuff? And I guess specifically, does the
Yes.
MACD indicator, are you able to use that on Forex?
That's how
Yeah,
I
anything.
trade
So
Forex and commodities
like,
as well.
so anything that basically how it works is that like if like we use TradingView, and that's the platform that the sort of like indicator like overlays on on any chart that opens on TradingView. So it doesn't matter if it's Forex, metals. It even works on the housing chart, which is kind of really cool. Nothing works on the housing chart. So
Ooh, look at the GBP JPY here. Looks like the hourly chart. We've crossed over the strength band. We've got our bull print, but we've not flipped to green yet, and we're on the overbought end. What I want to see here is a pullback to the band with a bounce, flipping green, and then I would long around here.
then you're long.
Like point
But that's
005.
that's
Yeah.
the
But that's on the
1
hour.
hour.
That means
So
I would also be watching the 1 hour and closing based on the 1 hour.
Sid, do it the other
Generally-
way. GBP, JPY, not JPY, GBP.
Oh, okay. Let's see if we can.
wait,
Although just
the
opposite,
other way.
basically.
Oh, I don't. GBP.
Let's see if that's just a separate. Here you go. Boom. Same chart. Flip it around.
Yeah.
So
like, this
now
is,
on the 1 hour, you're going to have. We just got our bear signal, but we haven't flipped the indicator yet. So what I want to see is if we are, because we're so oversold, if we are going to like keep moving down, any sort of retest to find resistance at that while the indicator flips red, and then I would enter short. If we don't get a retest all the way up to here, but we do get a flip to red and a candle close as red, that's also a signal to enter short then. But of course, that's the 1 hour chart. I'm not looking at only the 1 hour chart. I would then make my decision based on like a combination of the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the day, and the week chart. So it's like,
usually
okay,
the day and weekly is
like here, like the weekly, we're approaching a resistance actually, and possibly will be rejected here. We've already got our bear print. This would be
and that
where
looks
I'm
like a possible what's that rising wedge kind of.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so you could, which rising wedge would potentially
be like
then,
bearish, like
potentially break bearish. So that's like in line with the indicator saying we're getting rejected here. Okay, on the weekly, I now know I'm looking for a short position here. The daily is showing me, oh, I'm approaching overbought on the strength index, so it's running out of room on the way up. We're definitely in a bullish market, but you can see because we're running out of room, and this candle, like, we have 20 hours left, so I got to wait for this candle to close. But if this next candle starts closing bearish compared to this previous one, that's also giving me more and more insight on like, okay, it's getting close to time to open short. We already know we want to open short, not long, based on the weekly. And then the 4 hour, like now I'm going to get closer and be like, time that opening based basically on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, which again, the 1 hour is going to be a really good one here. If we do get this retest to the 1 hour band and aren't able to like retake the 1 hour support, then it's a good time to
like
be
rejected.
Open. Yeah,
and make a lower high. Then like,
and then I would ideally use the weekly bands here as my like liquidation price, or not liquidation price, my stop loss price. Like, yeah, I don't want to like basically if we push above here, I want to cut. That means that we're going to move higher, or that I haven't caught the top of this move. But yeah, so that, and then like, what was the Schiller, like the housing market?
Oh yeah. So it's like here. So it's a weird sort of like
I forget the fucking ticker for it.
Oh, it's SPCS 100, I think. Oh no, SPCS 10 RSA. It's the
SPCS
SP. It's the K-Schiller whatever composite. Yeah, SPCS.
CS.
SP. P for Pat.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say P.
So it's basically made by the S&P the same institution
Here
that
it is.
runs this. Yeah,
That's the one I'm looking for. Here we go. Look at this. Housing market. We called.
that was the last housing market crash in
Oh yeah, it even called the housing market crash 2007. Before the 2008 collapse of the economy, the housing market crash was noted with a bear signal and a flip.
Yeah,
We got our
and
bull
if you
print.
go back, I
We
think
got
there
a
was
little
another
fake ass signal, but we
yeah.
can't take signals seriously unless they come with the corresponding color of the band. So this was
This
nothing,
was like
just a retest.
Yeah,
after like COVID like era of
after
zero
COVID,
interest.
yeah.
The zero interest loans made the housing market explode, and then you
So
had
if
a
we
little pullback, but not even to the the housing market's insanely fucking bullish.
But yeah, if you see like
Damn.
if you see a
If you see a
red
bear print
band
and
with
you see this red band flip, you know, get
Sell
ready
your
to buy a
house.
house or sell your fucking equity. Yeah. Like generally this also, like if you had done that like here where we got the flip, that's still November, December 2007. This is before
they started
the stock market
talking
collapsed.
about it.
Yeah, so it works incredibly well. We also back tested. If you come check it out, go to maxi.io, check it out. We got back tests on like the S&P. We got back tests on this stuff. It does really fucking well. I mean, aside from like basically the way I was just looking at Bitcoin, that's pretty much all I use is just the indicator and then the SRSI.
Yeah,
To kind
that's
of
what like
between those two.
I
like
use only those two things, and that's it.
Yeah, which is kind of great. But yeah, let's jump back over and finish what we want to restructure here. So so far, all I've done is restake what we needed to restake to get in on these rewards. Next, I'm going to say claim all these rewards, right? So we've earned, it looks like 63,000 woof, like 3 wax, some rook. Great. Claim that bad boy. Done. And I think we maybe have something over here. Let's log into Taco Swap and see if there's liquidity here. I think if memory serves, then we do have a little bit of a position here. Liquidity. Either that or we pulled. Nope, we got it. So, dark matter is the one that we did. Yeah. So we did 100 wax into this because we were like, hey, yeah, last week, like it had finally gotten here. So let me pull this chart. I have to use wax on edge for some reason. For some reason the like trading view has it here, but like when I go on trading view to actually find like this dmatter / wax, like
because it's not like, you know, that's, I think we talked about it, like they just using like the plugin to run their website, so that's why it's not found on trading.
So I always use that trading view, and then he by default has the moving averages set. I usually don't fuck with much on here, but basically, I mean, I know enough about looking at charts to kind of like get a sense of what we're looking at. So like here was the chart, right? And we'd been watching dark matter. In my personal wallet, I bought into the liquidity pool here and I sold out like here. So I like did crazy well, but because I do that like not just on Wednesdays, when we finally got in, like I bought in here, and then when we got on air on Wednesday, it had already pumped this high, and I was, you know, the pool had been made a lot deeper, or maybe I got in here and like Wednesday happened here or something like that. Either way, I was not comfortable aping in after this, feeling like we had kind of missed the initial pump, which maybe wouldn't have been the worst idea to jump in for that week. But since then, you know, we've gotten exactly what I feared, which, you know, this topped off and then it just tanked all the way back. But like, it tanked basically all the way back to here, where last week we were like, okay, because we're all the way back on the fucking floor now, we're willing to like throw 100 wax into this. And so we did 100 wax last week, expecting that, you know, this, if we're going to get a bounce or even a dead cat bounce, like support lives here. And sure enough, you know, here we are. So looking at that, we had now we have 51. Let me see how much we had. I know I said 100, but I want to be sure I'm not misremembering. So I mean, actually just check the blockchain transactions that we did last week to see for how much they were. Let's see. Let's just check the one that deposited what was it? Dark matter. That's rook. LS wax. Damn, we do a lot of transactions, yo. LS wax. LS wax. Maybe this is already too far back. Oh, so it's here. Dark matter. Swap. What do we add in wax? 60 wax. There it is. Deposit. The deposit transactions here. So we added 60. So we had 120 wax total last week when we added, and that would have been kind of like around here. So we added, and it's fallen down a bit, and now this week we have in the pool 52-ish wax. So we're down, was that like 8? So 16 wax negative in terms of like the value of the wax, in terms of the value in terms of wax of the liquidity position. But we also earned, liquidity rewards, and this pool pays out the nose still, I believe. This pool pays like 1,436% APR.
Awesome.
And it has a runway that's forever. So I don't hate staying in this. It's crazy high risk. We're down what are we calling that, like 17 18-ish wax, but let's see how much we made in those rewards. So I'm going to go up here to account and rewards, and you can see we've earned, we even have some woof, but we've earned whatever this amount of dark matter is. I'm going to claim both of these rewards, and I'm going to swap the dark matter into wax to get a sense of how much have we made. Did it make up the 18 wax that we lost, or are we at a net negative now? So curious to see this. Let me log into, I'm using Wax on Edge to log in with the DeFi wallet now, because Wax on Edge is going to give us the best trade route. I don't know where all the liquidity lives on Wax for this. And look at this. We're about to get 27 Wax. So we were down about 17, 18 Wax. We're about to get 27. So we're up actually now 10 Wax in terms of, starting with 120 Wax last week, adding it to this pool, and then earning the rewards. Also, with the way the market moved, we got rejected on the moving average here. It's the 100-day, I think. Yeah, the 100-day moving average, which is generally like, not the greatest sign. And we're about to get like a death cross up here. Either way, we're still like basically at the base. Like you can see the volume down here. Where we are now, price-wise, not a whole lot of people were buying there. The majority of the buying and selling happened at a much higher price. I'm not super concerned with this dropping aggressively faster, and with how well it's done, even though we got in up here and the prices depreciated, over the week, the APR being that high is actually offsetting that loss substantially. We're at 28 wax right now. 27 of that came from this swap, from the reward swap just now. So nice. I'm cool with riding this for one more week. I think we keep this untouched, let this cook. We still have 102 wax bilateral, 104 wax-ish bilateral in liquidity here, and we're going to be cooking at 1,400% APR with that. I'm cool. Let's let that ride. I feel like the risk profile makes sense, and again, 100 wax doesn't represent a huge portion of our portfolio at this point. So you can see other positions we have open still are this one right here, which I guess we should go to the pools so we can actually see how much wax is in there. All of these are 0 to infinity except for the LS wax, but these are both wax derivatives, so we can just add these numbers together to know how much wax this is. So this is about 200 wax still. This right here is about 300 wax. So letting 100 wax stay over here and ride with this huge APR is within reason for the risk tolerance of diversification in a portfolio like this. Again, our stated goal for this portfolio is to make more wax, not to make more money. So we're not super concerned with trading shitcoins if those shitcoins are generating more wax for us. As for what to do next week, we want to check also the runway remaining here, make sure that we have at least 7 days, and we do, and that the APR is still worth the squeeze. Wax Neon APR is 36. This is our weakest performing one. currently. Maybe if we find something more enticing, we can shift over. But wax neon is also really stable as far as like its value in wax. We started with I think like 50 wax here, and if I go back to the pool, there's probably still 50 wax in here. Yeah, 50, almost 52. You know, so we're still sitting pretty on our wax. Before I get into anything else, you know what I'm going to do is actually sell the rewards. So I already claimed all the rewards. Now it's time to sell them all. I started selling the dark matter already. Let's sell the remainder of it.
How much total wax are we up to? We started 100.
Yeah, we started 100 and we never added more. All we did was what I'm showing right now. Let's add it up really quick. So
nice.
Yeah, all like the whole point of this part of the stream is to show that like, hey, yeah, you can, you know, successfully generate more crypto with just like participating in your positions once a week. Only making moves that once a week, then coming back, you know, and then like basically paying attention. And if you know what you're doing, it's not that hard. It's not that time committing.
We're also definitely up in dollars too, because we started with
$10. Yeah,
and there's at least $20 just in these liquidity pools.
Yeah, that's true. We're at least double here.
You're
so
double.
Let's see. Starting with Taco. Damn.
What is that?
that was crazy. Let's call this 52 times 2. What was that one?
The soundbite?
Yeah.
That was a Chappelle show.
Oh yeah. I'm rich, bitch.
It's like when he's like I think it's when black people get reparations and he's like I bought enough cigarettes to last me and my family a lifetime. I'm rich, bitch.
Right. Where she's like, are you gonna quit your job as a truck driver? He's like, I'm not a truck driver. I just bought all these cigarettes. It's like a cigarette truck. Okay, here we go. We got that one. So 51.9. I'm
not gonna lie, I didn't actually care how much we had in this wallet. I just wanted an excuse to play that soundbite because I missed it earlier. Worth it.
I won't do it. This was too exact. I'm just gonna start doing this like
just
so
round
plus 25
it
plus 25 plus let's see 75. I'm being like modest. 73 liquid stake wax is definitely more than 75 wax. Plus we'll call this 130 on the LS wax side plus 150 plus 150 puts us at 700-ish wax, 698.4.
You 7x your wax?
We 7x our wax in 2 years just by participating 1 day a week and moving stuff around, farming, and doing exactly what I'm doing right now. And the idea was
trade the charts.
Follow. Yeah, trading the chart. Every Wednesday we look at the chart, look at the direction, and then based on the direction, make some positions here. And again, once a week. You don't have to be monitoring this all week long. And hold on, I'll also do. So it's 698.4. Let's see, what is that worth? 698.4. $23.18.
Now you can play that rich soundbite.
Yeah.
$23.
I also realized I didn't have my sound set up properly when I was playing the bull sound. So here's a bull sound since you guys didn't actually hear it correctly.
That's much more. Still very
very more
barnyard.
Like I don't know, a cow in heat.
Yeah, right. He's calling out. But yeah, it looks like we more than doubled our money and more than 7x'd our crypto position. And again, the stated goal from the beginning was to focus on the crypto position, not the value. So we biased towards this with our positions.
Yeah, and you guys really mostly did this in a bear market, which is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So as the bulls start kicking, that's why I'm like, oh, I want exposure to these things. And that's why I'm like, let's risk a little like nonsense, because nonsense does well when like, the flood comes in. But yeah, so with all that in mind, what do we want to do for next week is the big question here. And the best answer, I think, is let's look really quick, actually, if there's any. That was like a questioning cow. He's like, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
There was some.
I don't have. Okay, I have an idea for what I want to do. So we started with 120 wax to go into this very high risk position on Taco Swap, this pool here, dark matter, and I'm not like confident that dark matter isn't going to continue to do its sell off, or I'm not 100% sure. It's a high risk thing. I want exposure to it. I like risk, so we're going to do that. But what I really want to do is recover 120 wax. So that I know my principal from this position has been recovered. And what I'm going to do is take all of the yield farming rewards we're making from this dark matter pool, along with the other yield farming positions that we're currently maintaining, and just use those to purchase wax and wax derivatives like a liquid stake wax. And then I'm going to make a new liquidity pool here for this one where they're paying us 7%, since it also lines up with the 7 days. So we'll actually be able to renew this every week. Rather than participating again in the pool that we already have, I want to make sure I'm doing a new pool so that I can keep track of when this pool's balance hits 120 wax. And because this pool is exclusively exposed to wax, this is basically, rather than me just swapping everything to wax and sitting on the wax, the idea here is I'm going to be swapping into wax and then earning some APR while we're waiting to recover our principal. So what I need to do is sell everything in until I have even parts liquid stake wax and wax, and then create the liquidity pool. Right now I have 28 wax, which is going to require a counterpart of 26.7 liquid stake wax. I already have 4.5. Let's see what other rewards I've claimed this week and start swapping into them. So my Rook rewards, I'm going to swap into liquid stake wax as well. That gets me another 2.6. Bam.
Go big or go home.
Because the bull market's here.
Here we go. We're taking the woof we earned. We're selling the woof too. What does that give us? Another basically 1. And then because I'm lazy, I don't want to do math. And I feel like the last trade I just made is worth less than 1 wax. I don't want to like cook through here and try to like trade a bunch of like fractional cent worth of stuff. The next thing I want to do is I'm actually just going to create the pool. So I'm going to come here and I need to check it's the 0.3%. So I can go to details and add liquidity. I'm just going to go infinite range and I'm going to click 8 point whatever. So it takes the counterpart. It's already set to 0.3. So I know I'm in the right pool. And I'm going to open this liquidity position. Bam. The reason I opened the pool before doing any math is because now it's taken all my liquid staked wax and only the counterpart of wax that I needed, leaving me with only the amount of wax that I need left here. So now I can very easily just hit the 50% part in here and get the other half that I need. No math required. So we did the swap.
I love that.
And now we can just come back to the pool that's already open, say increase liquidity, say max here, make sure that I have enough to cover the counterpart. I have 9.2577. It needs 1.27 whatever. So then I'll hit max here instead. Now I know that, this side's going to cover it and add liquidity. And that's all there is to it. Doing little moves like that once a week and messing with this stuff is all we did to 7x the amount of wax in this wallet.
Instead of buying some shit coin.
Instead of buying
some
anything. And the reality is, like, again, we only looked at the market that once a week, so it's like it's a lot harder to FOMO. It's a lot harder to freak out and do stupid shit when you're not even touching your stuff, during the week. Yeah. So now you can see here, I've created this pool. It's $1.23 worth right now. And I can see that, 18 wax times 2 is the total value of this. Once the total value here, once the wax side basically reaches 60, I'll know I've made back my 120. And then we can maybe take that and make it the principal for a new high risk position. While, all the while we're still cooking in this very high risk, but also high yield farm. Sweet. With all that said, I feel like we got a last
wax during the bull market.
Oh, that's it.
What?
Okay. I need the price to go up. I can't take this anymore. The price is giving every day. I get the price. I can't take this anymore, man. I have overinvested by a lot.
Oh,
I realized that was going to be a remix.
By a lot.
by a lot.
That's good. Oh, look, there's an even higher APR pool here. But no. We're situated. Keck has a 5% transfer fee, I think, or some type of transfer fee that I don't like to mess with. So this is an out of the question pool for me. Yeah, just to clarify that for you, Sid, this token, whenever you send it, not even like trade it, whenever you send it from wallet to wallet or deposit it into a smart contract, like deposit it into a liquidity pool, there's a burn, like a percentage of the amount that you're transacting is burned or sent to a burn wallet or something. But it makes it like it's a percentage that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like 5% or something. So it makes it
crazy.
Like impossible to use to do like a yield farming thing. So even with this like 1600% APR, like you'd have to sit at this APR for like 3 weeks before you could cover the cost of entering and exiting that pool.
Oh.
Like, yeah,
Well,
it's like
it's called Keg, so
it's not for me. Yeah.
it's like
I do like
holy
high risk,
shit.
high yield stuff, and I feel like
Scheiße
the dark matter token is scratching that itch for us. The rest of our pools are, I think, a little bit more metered here. The approach, you know, with the vast majority of it being Rook liquid stake wax, which we've seen the creator of that like come into the chat, talk about, you know, and then put up his own money as the base of liquidity for this. As far as like dealing in high risk tokens goes, you're not going to get a much better endorsement than something like that in my book anyway. So I'm here for that. And especially with the farm rewards being, you know, about 100% for a token that basically is holding its weight against wax, because there isn't enough sell pressure possible unless I guess the creator of the token sells it, which again, they could sell it. I don't know that they maybe don't plan to, but I don't know. You know, there's a non-zero chance. Everything has risk, and that's why a big chunk of our liquidity, like 200 wax, which is double our starting amount, is in this pool, which is just 2 staking wax derivatives. So this is exclusive wax exposure, and with this position running, we can effectively know that no matter what happens in the rest of the shitcoin market, our wax should be spoken for at least double what we started with.
Trend of like send fees. I don't really understand that. People are like, it's a good burn case. It's like deflationary.
Terrible
I'm like, yeah, but like that's not how crypto should work. Like I don't know. I just don't get it. Like that's not a real use case. That actually doing anything with it burns it. Like that's not a use case.
Yeah.
Maybe a transaction tax I could get behind, but then I want to see that transaction tax be like 0.05%, not fucking 5%. Like that's about 100 times too high. Like,
yeah, maybe not start with so many tokens to start with.
That's just also my opinion. I mean, some people like this nonsense, you know. I mean, it's a fun like burn case or whatever to them, and if that's how you feel about it, then like, yeah, fuck with it, you know.
I think there's some of the Salon meme coins did it, and that's why people are caught. Like I think cat with hat or whatever, that one, or dog with that, one of those has it.
Yeah, but that one was like 0.1%, and it went to a treasury fund that then would pay to incentivize liquidity pools. That makes a little more sense. But,
yeah, I guess. But even that, like, I don't know. You shouldn't tax me to send it from me to my friend, and then I lose.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know.
Or
it's also
just from your same
you
to your
trade tax. It's like if you swap it through the liquidity contract, it takes a tax. But if you send it between wallets, there's no tax for a lot of those. My biggest issue with those tax tokens, though, is that the contract where you deploy that token on, the thing that governs the ability to make that tax, like I said, it's like 0.1%. They could change that. So it's like, well, it's 0.1% now, but what if like, you know, they decide to crank it to 100%, and then every time you sell it, it all goes to it's like it's a very clear attack vector and vulnerability for a token contract that I'm just not interested in.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
Yeah, it's a no for me, dog. Sorry. That's perfect. But yeah, I'm happy with the way we've balanced our liquidity positions here. I'm really happy to see that we're up, you know, like 8x or something on wax, and you know, more than doubled our money in less than 2 years, or coming up on 2 years. That's great in any by any metric. That's great. Also, like Sid said, it's been a bear market. So like this is only going to get easier. So if you have been following along, if you've been following this stuff, have been joining us on these streams and have been seeing and maybe even like trying out some of these things, great, because you're learning a foundation of like a skill set that is.
Let me tell you guys that I am so excited. I am so happy. I am really so thrilled to be right now.
It's but it's like a skill set that will like, it's what you need to navigate a lot of the like insane opportunity that happens during the bull run. So like this, it's all fundamentally going to be the same thing that's happening on Ethereum, the same thing that's happening on these other chains, like, you know, adding liquidity, setting like, you know, ranges and stuff. All of that stuff isn't exclusive to Wax, and understanding it here is a great kind of like training wheels environment, low liquidity, low impact, I would say. You know, like honestly, if you make an unbalanced pool, there's not enough bots here to just like fuck you out of arbitrage. Like you might be able to close that pool and rebuild it. You know, like you.
Whoa!
There's just.
Yeah. Okay, that's real.
Oh my god. Yeah, but yeah. So I feel like if you want to do one more giveaway, but I feel like this is a great note to end on. I feel like we. I guess the last thing I want to say is if you are trying to get more into this stuff on the bull market side, if you want some more like a community of like people who are, you know, sharing their trades, giving like insight and stuff, that's exactly what maxi.io is. So if you wanted to join us over there, we'd love to have you. We also do like a you know, sign up for a free month if you don't like what you see. You know,
you can just do a trial month.
No hard feelings. It's definitely like, I mean, we use the tools that we offering through this stuff ourselves, and that's why like we started offering them out, because like Sid and I had like been trading with those indicators. Like Sid was putting those together like years ago already, and we'd like refined them over years and years, and they got to a point where like the back tests are like 70% outperforming like what, you know, hedge funds are doing. So it was like maybe it is worth like sharing with people. I know it's definitely it's a difficult sell pitch because everyone in this space is full of shit. so that's what the free month trial is about. So, you know, come check if it is full of shit or not. But we'd really appreciate you giving it a try. Other than that, I'm super glad you guys come join us on these streams, because it is really fucking cool to be able to do all this shit from your own wallet, to understand how to do it, how to approach these things, and to kind of demystify the like, oh, how are people like making money in crypto? As you see with this wallet and in this example, it's not about, you know, buying the shittiest meme coin that you can find before everyone else like FOMOs on it and then selling it to like a bunch of dumbasses for like 20x your profit. It's much more about understanding how liquidity moves through the markets, where the incentives are best, and then, you know, how to participate in that as like on the market making side of things versus as like a, you know, buy low, sell high moon boy kind of guy. Which is totally what we're doing with this wallet. Like we're not, you know, we're showing how to do with this wallet. So I hope that kind of stuff resonates at least a little bit, and gives you an idea that like, hey, maybe crypto isn't just, you know, buying shit at the casino and hoping for your ticket to be called. There's a lot to it. And if you want to get into it, you know, on a much more deep, serious level, it exists in exciting capacities, and we definitely like dive into that stuff over at Maxi quite a bit too. Like absolutely. Like those GMX markets and stuff are just the surface. Like, you know, those are like the blue chip things. There is much more tertiary things going on in crypto that are insane. like I mean, I sold an option that expires in September 26th next year for ETH and it's basically like the equivalent of selling Ethereum today at $3,100. So it's like, you know, like you can like sell at future prices today using DeFi protocols. I don't know. Awesome. I don't want to get too into like tech shit of that, but it's like, you know, it's crazy. It's cool. It's wild. There's a lot of like value in understanding stuff that not everyone understands, because then it puts you, that's what gives you an edge. Like, at least that's my take on this stuff, you know, like most people in crypto are going to be here to buy low and sell high, But if you know how to facilitate that trading and get a cut, of all the liquidity sourcing fees, for example, that's your edge. If you don't know how to buy low and sell high better than the average Joe Schmo guy out there, which I'll be honest, I'm not the best at buying low and selling high. Like that's difficult as shit. I might be great at it for a while, and then I get a few bad trades, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, all that high feeling like I knew what I was doing goes away very quickly too. But again, my edge is understanding how the markets move and how to participate in them. It's not about it's not about timing a trade or something like. Well, I guess it is definitely about timing trades correctly, but it's about understanding.
I'm better at that.
Yeah, that's
you're great with all these protocols and where to put the LP,
how to
and
whatever. Our members will be like, I just bought 20 ETH. What should I do with it? It's just sitting in my wallet. Hello, that's exactly where I come in. Here's how you turn
so much money that they could probably have a real hard time counting it.
I forgot this guy.
Those are good sound.
BitConnect, right? Back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Maybe we can end on the BitConnect song.
I'm doing one more giveaway, but the person who won the last one, Hacker Suvam, we do not have your wallet. Actually, let me check the list. Maybe it'll be on the list. But if you want to claim the prize or have us send it to it, we will need your wallet.
Yeah. Thanks, Manasuete, saying, I was going to share. Thanks for a little endorsement from Manasuete. He's saying, so it's a monthly subscription cost, but it's we try to make it around the cost of a gym membership. So it's not something that is prohibitively expensive, but it is for people who are serious about investing. So it is also a niche protocol, a niche product, and there's a cost to it. But we try to make it very clear what it is, and we are the people who own the business, to make the tools that do the and we care deeply about it. We're investing our own money alongside it. It's not some shill thing that there's so many people. Like I said, it's a hard sell because there's so much of this type of stuff out in the space.
Yeah,
and,
so much
it's hard
trash
to cut,
out there.
really hard to cut through as hey, we're the real deal. And so part of doing these streams too is to kind of hey, here's ask the questions, whatever you want to know, get the insight, to get a sense of it's not just talk, it's not just smoke and mirrors. This is our livelihood too. We're using these tools to make our money as well, and we're just trying to also make them available and make this community of make this small niche thing into something more viable, so we can afford to do this in the bear markets as well as the bull markets. Although now that the bull markets are coming up, hopefully everyone will be able to afford it, and then we're trying to get the call to action out there.
Right. It's time, guys. To the moon.
It's fun, but it's a crazy space, and it's like I said already in the stream earlier, if you're part of this, I've been in this space for over 10 years now. I made a shit ton of mistakes. I burned through money that I could have realized as profits, and those lessons are hard learned and not cheap to come by. And so part of paying a subscription, the idea there is you pay to circumvent making those same fucking mistakes,
right?
Because
I wish cost you thousands of dollars to learn.
Yeah, I wish I knew somebody like myself back then. When I got into this,
totally,
if I could talk to if I could talk to me today, back when I was getting started in crypto, I would fucking.
We'd be so rich.
Dollars. And the problem is people who know that and understand the value of the consultation stuff have paid thousands of dollars an hour for that type of advice too.
Yeah,
it's just really difficult.
Guy in a suit who doesn't really give you much,
Yeah, and it's also really hard to come by a steady supply. And the idea also behind Maxi is the end goal is to make it for every person. It's not just for the accredited people. Everyone should be able to participate. That's a big part of what I love about crypto, is that it's hey, this whole series again, referencing this again, we started with $10. This isn't something that's oh, you need to be a multimillionaire and have money to play with. If you have $10, you can play with it, and it's worth it because you're learning these things. It's not necessarily that your $10 is going to turn into $10,000 or a vacation or a penthouse at someday, but the understanding and knowledge you're getting from playing with just $10, by participating in following along on these streams or something, even if that's as comfortable as you want to be doing it, it's possible, and that is what's like exciting about it. And that's also why, we're trying to create a product that's accessible to everybody, because that's the kind of mission statement of crypto at its core as well.
Financially independently.
Perfect.
All right.
But
last call if you want to enter this giveaway. We'll give
thanks for
away. I
joining.
gave away the top 3 last time, except I still don't think we got the wallet of the winner. I tagged them in the chat. That's just, you're missing out on a million woof.
You could have been a millionaire.
A woofinaire.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can play one last Carlos. I don't know what the to the bank one is. I don't know this one. Let's hear it.
I'm going to go to the bank. I'm going to get my Bitcoins. I'm going to actually put it into dollars.
Bam, he's getting his Bitcoins at the bank.
Whoa,
was like-
what's up?
He has so many good sound bites.
I think they're all from that one speech, right? Or was
from the Big Connect speech.
BitConnect like conference, and they're like, he's just somebody there. I saw like an interview with him afterwards, and they're like, "Oh, so like, yeah," and she's like, "No, I just went. Like, I was a fan. I went. They just pulled me on stage."
Yeah, he didn't know
I
shit
thought you were,
about
like,
what
I thought
he
you were
was
a hype
selling.
man, or like, yeah, I thought you were like the.
They
part
probably
of the
like paid
team.
him whatever, right? Like,
I don't think they did. Like, he paid to be at that event, and then they were like, "Do you want to
What
go
an
on stage
idiot.
and say?" Yeah, I think he was just like that excited and like caught in the moment.
What am I going to do?
My wife doesn't believe in me.
Yeah, that one too.
My wife still doesn't believe in me.
Classic.
All right, let's do this giveaway. Wrap it up. I got music to mix.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun because crypto can be, all those scams and shit, but it can also be a bunch of legitimate stuff. It's everything. Crypto is those scams just as much as it
the
is
hard
not.
part is weaning him out. Yeah. That's why if we've been in this space for this long, then we have a better idea.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to know like where to get started, what kind of things to mess with, we'd love to have you guys give us a try. Join the conversation, join our Discord. It's a private little community. People watch some of our whale members throw way too much crypto around. That shit's pretty fun to see.
Yeah,
too.
big size peeps.
Yeah. Like, hey, I just bought 30 ETH.
Thousands of dollars, not even kidding.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you'll make a post like it looks like ETH is like showing a bottom. It's like cool. I just bought like
I'm
100
buying
grand.
58.
Like, Jesus. It always goes well too. Like Shiz does like posts later. He's like, "Oh, good thing I bought." And it's just like I'm up 60 grand. I'm like, "Cool, shit."
Yeah.
So, should scale the membership cost with how much people make.
Sliding scale. Like, what you're like?
We get 0.2% of whatever profit.
That's what the suits do, right?
That's how they all make their money. That's why the fucking Robinhood is 0% or whatever. That's why everyone's no like cost now. It's like it's all in the fees. It's all in the spread. It's easy to hide that stuff when it's not all on chain too.
That's totally.
Not like we don't even have to talk about fucking like. I mean, when you're making orders on like your trading apps as a retail trader, you're not even broadcasting to a market maker. You're most likely like order flow selling that shit to like a hedge fund.
Yeah, Citadel.
Which is like fucked. It means you're playing like someone's trading on top of your trades. Like it's not even a fucking even playing field.
Yeah.
But I won't rant about the stock market too much. It's regulated. You can still make money with it. It's just that as a retail investor,
I mean,
we do.
We also trade stocks.
Yeah, we trade stocks for sure.
Not just crypto, and we do pretty good on that.
Stocks, we do really well.
It's way easier to trade that too, like because like it's
way easier, and the market's closed, so you can go to bed.
Yeah, on the weekend you're not sitting up, like whatever on a sad day at like 1 a.m. when the market moves.
Oh, let's go. My year to date is 90.98%.
That's just stocks, people.
That's my stock portfolio.
100 and whatever percent. Like
almost tripled
Which
the value of it. year
does
to date.
BlackRock get you that? No.
No.
We can get you that.
That was
It's
that Lumen play did us so fucking well. A lot
yeah.
of us bought Lumen shares and Lumen call options when
At
Lumen
the
was trading at
bottom.
$1.50 a share, and it pumped to $7. And we were urging people to buy $1.50 call options, which were selling for like cost. They weren't even at a premium. It was insane.
Yeah.
Which, if you understand that sentence, join Maxi.
Or even if you don't do options, like we just trade
Yeah.
plain stocks and
Yeah,
still do pretty
it
well.
is really fun. Yeah, I'm honest with it. It is wild to see because people who have money have so much money, and then it's like it's not the same for them to throw it around as it is for us. You know, like if you, and then it's wild. Like being in these markets is so crazy to see. Like, man, some people just have all the money.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of how it goes because money's an insider's club, and if you have money, you can make money. Go figure how they have that much money to throw around just because they have money. Oh, thanks for the cheer. The cheer is normally it activates a soundbite thing, but I just did it.
Yeah, Lewis, what's up?
It's because we're using StreamYard, so we don't have our own stuff.
I think you mean 401k. Well, that's what those.
Yes,
that's what those
size.
ETFs. Yeah, we do quarter size investment portfolios. 104. We're not 401. But if you are talking 401k, that's what those fucking ETFs are great for. Spot ETFs, because you can't buy bitcoins into your IRA.
Eventually,
account,
you will.
but you can buy ETFs. Yeah.
Eventually.
That's like a big thing where like it actually even benefits retail traders. Because I did say earlier that like I find that those assets are mostly for institutional traders to play, and most of that stuff is to carry trade for farming funding fees on option contracts, like what Ina does, where they're like, oh, we're gonna sell all these options and put up the collateral for it, and then to put up that collateral, we're buying these spot ETFs to hold as the collateral part for that, and it's like, oh, now those, and you just wrap all this shit. Yeah, you just wrap this shit over and over and over again, and then someone else is able to buy positions that you're actively like engaged in trading. So standard banking shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we do offer any sort of like investment thing, it would be very limited based on what we've been talking about. We would only be able to offer it to up to 10 investors, so it would have to be pretty high net worth moves.
But very high.
But I'll let you know. I'll let you know
Yeah.
when we're ready to offer that. I will let you know. Oh, it's Cat Cam. Oh my goodness, Pinguino Rodriguez.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Pinguino Rodriguez.
It's Pinguino Rodriguez, and
what's the other one?
He's Gatito. Although
Gatito.
I just call him Tito for short, and then Pinguino.
So you guys have like really solo names, dude. That was the idea.
I mean, they're little cuties.
They are.
His name was okay, so his name on his adoption forms was Jelly Donut, which is terrible.
Oh.
And then his name after that was Pierre, which is cute. Okay. Pierre, like a little French guy.
Yeah.
And then I added Jean, so Jean Pierre is what I used to call him. And then that evolved into JP, which I still call him JP often. And then Pinguino Rodriguez just was like, because he's got the like tuxedo thing. Yeah. He looks like a little penguin, so I was calling him like Tuxie, and then Penguin, and then Pinguino, and then Pinguino Rodriguez is like from a
the cats are confused.
Is like from a radio bit, yeah. But that's starting to stick now. I love Pinguino Rodriguez, but that's from a radio bit where like someone calls into like in Mexican country, like Spanish speaking country, they're calling into a radio host like, hey, I want to hear the song like about Pinguino Rodriguez. And they're like, what? And he's like, wait, oh, it's this song. And he plays that song. It's like, all right, I think we're gonna make it. But like in Spanish, they're like, he doesn't hear the English words. He hears like, oh, Pinguino Rodriguez, So he's like misunderstanding lyrics, but across a language border. Is just a very funny bit, and Pinguino Rodriguez is a hilarious name. So it works well when he's misbehaving and he's a little devil. So like when he's not knocking shit off the table, you can be like, Pinguino Rodriguez. And then he has like really wide eyes. He'll like look over like, yeah, it's super cute.
That's funny.
Yeah, I need this.
Tito
I
Tito
know
needs
Tito.
this solo.
Oh, baby. I call him, he's Tito. I'll call him Babino sometimes. Babino.
Ooh.
Oh, Tito. Or Tito Rito. Tito Rito. Look, you can kind of see his stripes. He has like black on black stripes on his chest there. Oh, my goodness. What a sweet guy. Oh, yes, honey. Yeah, they're super duper cute. Very soft. You can absolutely handle them and like hold them and stuff, and they love it. But yeah, cute. No. Yeah.
Dio lyric. Ride the tiger. You can see his stripes, but you know he's clean.
What evolution? Oh, yeah, that's
see what I mean.
What do you think, though? It's a good evolution, right? Pinguino Rodriguez is his final form, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna raid into Mahala. We'll be back tomorrow.
All right.
We're gonna do an off rails stream. We have a channel on our Discord called Off the Rails. If you submit videos, we will watch them and react to them tomorrow on stream. So if you have any,
thanks for
all
joining
sorts
us
of
today.
different videos. It started
Thanks
out
for
as
having
mainly
me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Sid. That was fun. I always love having
That's
Sid on because
awesome.
he's like you saw, he knows how to read these charts better than anyone I know. And
I
He's
pop in
also
and
in
out
our
with the
Discord if you ever
major
want to
market
chat.
moves.
yeah,
Oh.
it's also good insight.
Yeah.
He posts in the
Oh.
crypto channel in the Neon Space Discord. Like if you scroll up, he posted on the 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the major, I still try to like post just to help you guys out.
We have like every day or two posting like a TA and Maxi Discord, and then like when there's like the major like monthly stuff that's like, hey,
Like
if
a
you
top
are
or
in crypto, like,
bottom.
you should be acting on this. Like if you know, if you're not acting on any of these other ones, act on this. Those will even share over at Neon Space.
Yeah.
So I think, oh yeah, there's a Discord for that one too. So you can join that
All right.
one.
All right.
See y'all
Definitely.
tomorrow. Have a good
Thanks for-
night. Peace out. Stay safe in the crypto land.
Yeah. There's getting some sophisticated hacks. So
Thanks, man.
my
See y'all later.
Bitcoin are still stuck.
Oh yeah. Good luck with that.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Not ideal.
All right.
See
I'm going to
you
end the stream.
later.